Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. The Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio. Welcome to a movie film commentary track. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, and it's going to be a good morning, Brian.
Oh, you know it. Come with me, to quote the Puff Daddy song everyone still references.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so we are here to talk through one of the most reviled big-budget blockbusters of all time, right? I think that's pretty good characterization.
Yes, I think so. Like if you were to drop it, right, and be like, oh, Independence Day, be like, oh yeah, I remember that, da 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 da, you know, or whatever other. Gone in 60 Seconds. No one really talks about it anymore, but like, yeah, I remember liking that. Godzilla from 1998. I think you're going to get a collective groan.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a big one. You know, the hype machine surrounding this movie kicked in early and often leading up to its release, and it is now sort of historically known as well, a lot of things. You know, I mean, I think it is sort of the synonym for overreaching ambition coupled with, you know, no creative goods to back it up.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to talking about this. I haven't seen this movie, I don't think, since it came out. So I watched it again for this, and it's kind of interesting having it fresh in my head. I'm sort of looking forward to talking about it with you.
You're welcome, Brian.
Yes, right.
So worth pointing out, when I first mooted this idea to Brian's like, hey, you know, it'd be fun, let's watch the old 98 Godzilla. Brian's like, yeah, sure. And then, you know, we announced it on the regular show, and then I look at the time code after, because I too have not seen it in decades, and it's like 2 hours and 18 minutes, and I kind of, my shoulders slumped a little.
No.
And I was like, oh. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, what's funny is I wanted to, I had a very packed week last week, and the only free day I had in several days was Sunday. So I wanted to hold it against you that I watched this movie twice in one day. But we spread it out a little bit, and now I'm feeling a little, okay, let's do this.
Let's see how Brian feels at the end of this next 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Right.
So we're just, you know what, we're going to get into it. We'll just start the conversation, and if you want to watch along with us, feel free. You certainly, please, do not feel like you have to watch along with us. I think right now Brian's like, you know, I'm not going to watch along with you, Brian. Zachy.
Right.
Okay, so we're queued up. There is only one cut. It is the 2 hours and 18-minute theatrical cut, and we're ready to go. Ready, Brian?
Ready.
So we'll play on 3. 1, 2, 3, play.
All right.
And there is the Columbia logo, or this TriStar logo. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was about to be like, oh, maybe there's a different version.
No, it's sorry, it's all the same. It's all in the same pool.
Wait, what happened to TriStar?
Are they not around
they
anymore?
still have the horse and all that? I feel like that was a staple of when I was a kid.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Now that you mention it, I feel like I haven't seen that in a long time.
I feel like I do.
Here's another logo I haven't seen in a long time, which is Centropolis.
Centropolis?
Yeah.
Now that's Roland Emmerich's, right?
Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. That was their joint.
Oh, together?
Their
okay.
joint.
Their joint. Shoot, where to begin?
Here. Okay, so the film right off the bat, we hear La Marseillaise is playing, and we see the nuclear test that creates Godzilla, and I think this is actually a good place to start because Godzilla, the original Godzilla, 1954 Gojira, was created as a response and reaction to American nuclear testing.
Right.
The character himself is an embodiment of.
Now, how many years afterwards? I mean, not even 10 years, right?
Well, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were what, like 44, 43?
Okay. So just about 10 years.
I mean, within arm's length, you know, and then, you know, even after that, in the early 50s was the Bikini Atoll nuclear test that the U.S. denied doing, but which led to several Japanese sailors dying of radiation poisoning.
Ugh.
Right, and that was very shortly before the original Godzilla came out. So the character and his entire milieu was meant to be this somber meditation, not merely on mankind's foray into atomic power, but specifically American expansion in that arena. So I find it comical that the American adaptations, like, it's the French. The French did it.
Yeah, right. That is funny, yeah. So yeah, that was actually Totopoulos, by the way.
That's a name we're gonna hear a bunch of.
Yeah, this is the Matthew Broderick character's last name that people fumble through the whole thing.
So he is named after production designer Patrick Totopoulos, who, by the way, he designed the Godzilla creature in this, and he also worked on another famous Japanese translation, an American translation of a Japanese property. That's right, Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So now they do use some real footage here, right? Is that what I read?
I believe so. Some of what you're saying, yeah. So we're watching the nuclear test as these poor iguanas are being bombarded by atomic energy, and one of them iguanas is going to become the Godzilla in this film.
Wait, now, so how does that differ from the original? I mean, was he always like a lizard that was mutated, or was he some sort of dinosaur that was...
Yeah, so as originally conceived, Godzilla is a mutated dinosaur.
Who was beneath the earth?
He was beneath the ocean, hibernating.
Okay.
And then a nuclear test wakes him up and mutates him. That is, by the way, the legendary Godzilla. That is not that approach either. The legendary Godzilla, which is the Warner Brothers version, he is just a primordial being who has always existed. Mm-hmm. But this film took a widely different approach, and that was because when Roland Emmerich got involved. And actually before even Roland Emmerich, right? We should mention that. I mean, there had been efforts to make an American Godzilla movie going back to the 80s. Mm-hmm. Steve Miner was attached at one point for like a 3D thing that didn't really happen because people were like, 3D? What? It wasn't the 60s anymore, and it wasn't yet the late 2000s. So
right. Well, aside from Jaws, was there ever another big movie attempt at 3D?
Not during that era.
Huh.
That I can think of, right? So that fell apart, and then the rights landed at TriStar in the early part of the 90s.
And they were like leased, right? Like it was a limited time. Sort of deal,
I mean, it's it's like any of these things, right? You license it, and if it's successful, you renegotiate. If it's not, it goes back.
Right.
Right. And Jan de Bont was attached in the mid 90s.
I would love to watch that one.
I know.
Even if it wasn't good, I'd still have to look at it.
Right. You have to imagine it would have been visually distinctive, and this was pre Twister, post Speed.
Right.
And so he wanted Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton.
Oh, so
to be Godzilla and the monster that he fights. It would have been. No, I'm just joking.
That's what I thought you were getting at.
No, but it was a script by Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who are credited on this. But
yeah, I saw that.
They had nothing to do with this version.
Interesting. Yeah, and they have what? Pirates.
Pirates. They wrote The Lone Ranger. They wrote The Mask of Zorro, which was the same summer as this, by the way.
Ah.
And so that would have been a much more traditional Godzilla movie. Although I think the way Godzilla's origin in that is that he's like created by Atlanteans. So vastly different there. But visually, he would have looked the same. Mm-hmm. And it came down to budget because TriStar was, I think it was like a $5 million difference or something like that. But basically, that's what they couldn't come to a resolution on.
Huh.
And then. Wow. Before Independence Day comes out was when Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin got involved in this. I'm fairly certain.
Before Independence Day, because that was their breakout, right?
They broke out with that, and then I think it got formalized after because the movie came out and made $1 bajillion.
Yes,
and it's weird, right? Because I don't know about you, but like I still feel a great deal of affinity for Independence Day.
I do too. I think. It's a very unique movie in that it is extremely corny.
Yes.
And very, very predictable in whatever you want whatever else you want to throw at it, but it is damn enjoyable.
Yeah.
It has survived that. I think people continue to just like, well, that's just an enjoyable movie.
Yes.
Yeah. And watching this movie, even though I had seen it before, it did feel like I was watching a lost movie from that era. I was like, oh yeah, I remember when blockbusters were like this.
We're like this. It feels, you know what it feels like, Brian? It feels like they put this together out of the Independence Day breakout box.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even know that I can put into words exactly what that is. I mean,
Right.
I think it has to do with like an ensemble.
Yes.
Right. And they all have very broad, distinctive characteristics and arcs. And I don't even mean that in a bad way. I have to admit, I'm going to admit it. I'm going to admit it on tape here. Halfway through, I was like, look, this is corny. And I don't know that I even qualified as good, but this isn't a badly written script. Like
I agree with that in terms of what it's trying to be.
Yes. And what it's trying to be, it does it skillfully. Whether or not people enjoy it or whether or not it's a good movie is a whole other thing.
So Brian, here's the distinction. The problem is that what it's trying to be is not a Godzilla movie. That's the problem. So, and my point is, if you change the title to, Lost in New York, or
yeah,
you'd be like, oh, okay, even the monster like looks fine, everything is like fine.
I actually couldn't believe how good some of the visual effects looked in this movie.
Considering
from the era, especially from the era. I mean, some of it I was like, a lot of it's sort of miniature kind of thing, and I think these days we have a better eye for that. But I was kind of impressed. I don't know. Yeah, I was not prepared to actually be like, whoa, during a couple of the bigger moments. The sound design is good. Roland Emmerich, there's a reason he was huge for a while.
It's funny how hot he blazed and how quickly he burned out.
Yeah, and I was... by the way, so Jean Reno here.
What did you see, old man?
Yes. It's so great. This is the thing you do. This is correct.
To me, I look at that though, and I'm like, why is he putting the lighter in front of him? Like, what is that getting out of it?
Which is like, if you say it out loud, it's stupid, but when you watch it, you go, yeah.
You're like, when Jean Reno says it, I believe it.
Which, by the way, I love that shot of that man who's identifying Godzilla becomes like government property footage later, and you're like, wait, no,
I
that's
that exactly.
Literally...
I was like, it's like Spaceballs.
I wrote that down. It sounds like Spaceballs,
where the crew is part of the movie.
Yes, yeah. Just put in Spaceballs the movie. Like, we haven't even finished it yet. Yeah.
So I'm fascinated by the beret that Matthew Broderick is wearing.
I was gonna say, I wrote down. There's a lot of berets in this movie. His love interest later wears a beret. I feel like there's a couple berets going on.
That
I don't
hat,
know if that's...
to me, there's like a whole story leading up to Matthew Broderick being given that hat to wear, and I'm like, was he okay with that hat? Did he have objections? Was he like, all right, you made Independence Day,
Yeah, right. Well, he wore a beret in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Maybe it was a Broderick note.
There you go. No beret, no deal.
Yeah. And then who's this guy? Character
Dunn.
actor here?
Kevin Dunn.
I'm sorry?
Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, he's great.
He's in the first Hot Shots.
Oh,
he's the guy who gets Topper out of retirement or whatever.
That's right. Oh, that's funny. Which, by the way, okay, so Matthew Broderick, in the 90s, he was kind of an 80s guy to me. Those are like when you think of Ferris Bueller, obviously, War Games. By the way, okay, so this whole thing where we pull out, what's the evidence? What evidence? And the camera like pans up and he's standing in a giant footprint. That's corny, but that's pretty good.
It's as filmmaking, it's effective.
Yeah. For the movie we're watching, I think the takeaway from this was, I don't think, I'm going to spoil it here for forever. Like, I didn't think it was that objectively terrible. No, I don't think it's a good movie, but I was like, oh, well, this is not nearly as bad as I remembered it.
Well, and so this is important, right? Because fundamentally, I actually agree with you, and I actually had that exact same realization as I was reviewing this. Because again, I haven't watched this since it came out, and I very distinctly remember sitting in the theater opening night and not. This is important. I was not hating it. In that I was not miserable, but I remember having a blast making fun of it.
Yeah.
With my friend, we were like making jokes, and I feel like the whole crowd was into it. Nobody was like, "Shut up."
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah.
it was like instant Rocky Horror.
Right.
I mean, this is opening night. It was at the Marcus Cinema in Addison.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Spaceballs, the movie.
Yeah.
They're watching what we literally just watched as the movie, not from another camera's point of view in the scene. We're watching the movie on a monitor.
So the expectations that were set up for this movie were ludicrous.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. I remember having this Taco Bell cup that only had his foot on it because it's like, oh no, you will not see what this monster looks like until this movie comes out.
Yes. So now first of all, there was like the trailer a year out in front of I think Men in Black. Where it shows like there's like a tour in a museum and they look at a skeleton of a dinosaur and then Godzilla's foot steps in the museum and smashes the dinosaur because subtle, right? Because Jurassic Park was like the big thing at the time, right? So from then, now I being stupid kid who just graduated high school and I'm like, oh, movies wouldn't lie to me, so if they're saying it's going to be the best thing ever, it must be, right? Right. I hadn't.
We were kids, Zachy. Kids.
Yeah. I hadn't been bludgeoned by like the Phantom Menace yet, so this is like that first exposure to like, oh, expectations can let you down. Oh, Harry Shearer, by the way, first of many Simpsons people in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of Simpsons people in this.
Clearly, the casting director is a Simpsons fan.
Yeah.
But so the hype was just accelerating from summer of '97 to the Memorial Day of '98, and I remember. It was like an Entertainment Weekly cover where how much money is it going to make? Godzillions. And there was the Puff Daddy music video, and there was and it was funny. I don't know if you remember this. There was like a couple of years after this came out, there was a thing that they used to show in front of movies. I think it was like a Coke thing, but it was like making fun of overhype for movies, and it was like about a giant slug.
Oh, funny.
And
I don't remember that, but that's funny.
And the whole premise, it was like a little commercial. It's like, oh, we got the toy line, we got the music video, and it's like the slug slide, and we got this, that, and
I do remember that.
What about a script? We'll bang it out over the weekend.
Oh, that's funny.
Right? And it was a direct parody of Godzilla, where it was this marketing campaign in search of a movie.
Right.
Because this, when you really think about it, this is like Lake Placid, this movie.
Go on.
Lake Placid is one of these things that you toss out at the end of August in the summer.
Oh, sure.
And I mean, premise-wise, it's like basically the same thing, It's these vaguely familiar cast of actors, none of whom is like a huge star, but you know them. You got a little monster, and you do it,
Mm-hmm.
But you don't watch it with the expectation of like, oh, this is going to reorder my concept of reality.
Well, no. I mean, this does feel, though... I would say this feels more of a spectacle than a Lake Placid.
Fair enough.
There's a lot more
Lake Placid, by the way,
Steve
Miner. There's our Godzilla connection.
Ah.
Yeah. So, and by the way, so that's Vicki Lewis next to Matthew Broderick. She was on the TV show News Radio.
Right.
She is the not Kathy Griffin.
Right.
I feel like those two probably got confused a lot. Yeah, but you were talking about Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
And I think his casting, it's the equivalent of putting, like a Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day, or like it's a familiar face.
Yeah.
He's not a megastar.
Yeah, he's not like a George Clooney or something, but he's a guy you know and you like, right? Yeah. I mean, he was doing in the '90s. He was doing movies sort of like The Freshman, right?
Which is like early '90s, right? It was like that might have been 1990.
Yeah, or like Out on a Limb, or like some of these, like he wasn't doing big movies, right?
No.
Yeah.
I think Matthew Broderick is just one of those guys who will always be able to work.
Yeah, well, I was thinking as I was watching this, I was like, I really like Matthew Broderick. I mean, he's got a charm, and he's pretty close to Ferris Bueller-ish age here, so he still kind of has that youthful spark.
Yeah, now he looks like a grumpy old man.
Yeah, or like the well, it wasn't that many years later, but I was going to say Election, right? Where he was playing
Oh yeah,
the frumpy guy. He went from cool guy to frumpy guy.
That was like 1 year later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so he fell off hard. That's what that means.
No, I just mean, think about it. He's like the coolest teen on film, like, or one of,
Yeah.
And then he becomes like frumpy, nerdy teacher guy. It's such a different, same guy, different sort of. You know what I mean? Like George Clooney's always going to be handsome doctor, handsome grandpa, handsome grandpa. Whatever.
I think when we look at what and I'm going to look at this more from the perspective of how does it work as a Godzilla movie.
Okay.
And I think that's an important piece of context because you said the other day, like, you're not a big Godzilla fan.
No, I never. I don't think I've ever seen an original Godzilla movie. To be honest, I just never came across them. See,
I'm medium. I'm a medium grade ballistic Godzilla fan.
Okay.
Because I'm not. I don't. I had Mark Gottlieb on my Nostalgia Theater show, and he's like, he knows this stuff. Like, he's like, oh, in Godzilla versus Biollante, this happened. I'm like, that's friggin' amazing.
I was listening to that, yeah, and I was like, yeah. Well, his story too was like a story I just didn't have. Where he's like, yeah, I was a kid, and they reran these on TV a lot, and that was my introduction, and now I love them, and I've seen them all, and I was like, oh, see, I just never had that experience.
Yeah, so I know several people who are like hardcore Godzilla fans, and again, like, for me, I am appreciative of the narrative, the overall scope of Godzilla. There's certain films that I know, but I certainly couldn't do what Mark is able to do, right? But I knew enough about Godzilla, having grown up with some familiarity with the character, to know, watching this, that something was off.
Yeah, sure.
And I think what's off fundamentally is how Roland Emmerich, like, his own egress into the character was not that Godzilla is not a character. Godzilla is just a creature. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is what makes it fundamentally uninteresting on that level. Mm-hmm. Is by this point, right? Because again, as originally conceived, before Roland Emmerich got involved, it was going to be a standard Godzilla versus other monster film,
right?
And Dean Devlin even said this, like, well, we got to start with Godzilla alone and introduce him, and then we'll get to that other stuff. And I think that's just a misreading, because by this time, there had been 20 plus Godzilla movies. Like, people knew Godzilla's deal. He's the guy who defends the city from the bad guy monsters.
Yes. So
when you say, oh, we're going to make him the heel in this movie, it's already less interesting.
See, which is funny, because I only know him as, like, okay, he's just this lumbering thing that smashes cities. So when I watched the recent Godzilla, I was like, oh wait, he's like helpful. Like, I didn't know any of this.
There was a cartoon show, which was my endpoint to the character, a Hanna-Barbera cartoon from the late 70s, where it was like, there's this exploratory ship with this cast of characters, and then they encounter various monsters and whatnot out in the sea, and they have a little signal device, and they hit it, and then wherever they are, Godzilla will just show up.
Oh, funny.
And ring the bell of whatever monster he's fighting. But like that, so that was how I knew Godzilla.
Okay.
But here's my point. When you look at the movies where he is the heel, and it's specifically the first two, it's Godzilla and Godzilla Raids Again from 1954 and 1955. Again, the metaphor is laced through. I said this to you before. The original Godzilla is a very serious movie, and it takes seriously what it's trying to say. So it doesn't treat lightly. The destruction and everything else.
Right.
However, here's the important thing: Godzilla, as originally depicted, is he's invulnerable. You can't shoot rockets at him. You can't do any of that, because he's the manifestation of mankind's own hubris. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like it's our chickens coming home to roost.
Right.
So What are you going to shoot a nuclear missile at it? No, you can't. 'Cause you can't. It doesn't work that way, right? And what we see with Godzilla in this film, what happens? He's running. He's hiding. He's being wounded. He's bleeding. You know.
Right.
So it flies in the face of everything the character should be. Right? And so you say, okay, well then that works as its own thing. It's like a movie about a mutant dinosaur in New York. Fine.
Right.
The problem is you hang the name Godzilla on it. And that comes with certain expectations.
You're going to push away all the people that love it for all those reasons.
Yeah. You know.
And then here, Hank Azaria, another Simpsons guy.
Yeah, he's doing like Carl, basically.
Yeah, right.
Right? No, she's his wife, I think, right?
Who?
The woman who not Maria Patillo, but his animal Hank Azaria's significant. His wife in the movie, not in real life.
Oh, yes.
Right? She's like, you retard, and this and that. I'm like, geez.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I winced at that too.
Like there's now Maria Patillo here. I don't even know how to say this because it sounds so cruel, but she is really, really bad in this movie.
Yeah, I remember even watching it the first time thinking like, okay. Like, how do she seems, oh gosh, yeah, I know. I feel like I'm just going to be so cruel. She feels kind of like a TV actress.
Yes, and that's what she was known for.
That sounds so dismissive because TV is so different now. But I'm talking about back when, like TGIF sitcoms.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, when TV was different.
She was actually what I knew her from. There was a show called, I want to say it was like Buddies or something like that, and it starred Tate Donovan and John Cryer. Okay. And John Cryer, who was like the TV Matthew Broderick.
Right.
And that's what I knew her from. And I mean, she is done no services by the script and the machinations of her character. But I mean, I looked at her IMDb, and basically, like, her career drew to a dead halt in like 2008.
Oh man, that's a shame.
It is a shame.
I mean, she reminds me of a little bit. Like, she looks like she could be Naomi Watts' little sister or something.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. This scene, this is like total Roland Emmerich. This is like a trailer for a Roland Emmerich movie.
That's right.
Cute old man on the wharf gonna fish. Like, I think I caught a big one. Godzilla.
So Godzilla, they had kept his look under wraps, and this is, first of all, can you imagine a scenario today where this would ever be allowed to happen? Right?
No, it'd be impossible. I mean, with the internet and Twitter, and there's no way it wouldn't leak.
Forget leaking. I can't imagine a studio okaying it.
Oh, sure.
Right? Because it was not just about, we want to keep him out of the trailers and stuff. They were like, we don't want any merchandise or anything released until after the movie comes out.
All right.
Right?
This looks cool, by the way. Can I just bring this up?
When Godzilla makes landfall here? It is. It's
and like blowing up the dock. And I mean, I'm going to say, honestly, with all the practical effects in this movie, some of the stuff still looks pretty spectacular.
I totally agree.
You feel more of the instead of sorry. We'll get to this later. I want you to finish your thought.
No, so they kept his design under wraps, and then what happens? You know, it's like, we can't release the merchandise until after the movie comes out, and then people watch the movie and they're like, we don't want the merchandise.
Yeah.
There were
when
no
you're inviting
anticipatory
criticism,
purchases, you know?
Nothing's going to live up to that. Even if it did look cool.
Yes.
Right? It's like, that's what you made us wait all these years? And it's like Gabbo, right? You're like, Gabbo's coming. And then you're like, okay.
Gabbozilla.
Yeah.
And that's, Roland Emmerich and Patrick Tatopoulos, they had to go to Japan to pitch the design of their Godzilla, to the folks at Toho.
Uh-huh.
And Tatopoulos even said, he was like, it's kind of interesting because like we said, I don't think it's a terrible design, but it's so far afield of Godzilla, of the traditional depiction of Godzilla. And I think that gets to something basic, which is, you owe the brand that you're adapting fealty to those things that make it iconic.
Mm-hmm.
You can't start from scratch.
Yeah. I didn't want to call it that shot. That was a good shot, by the way, with all the umbrellas and then the one umbrella tilts and the guy looks up. And this, too, with the cars.
Yes.
Thumping. I mean, this is good. This is stuff that I actually feel like is missing from blockbusters these days.
Well,
this sort of really good teased out dread, and also, I'm going to sound grumpy old man here, but the practical sort of thing. This is what I was about to say, was watching the new Godzilla, as fun as it was, this is a symptom of all new blockbusters, but when you have the entire background being green screen, just by virtue cannot be a dynamic image because it's so flat, right? Like, and so I feel like all of these actual locations and so these miniatures, even if those don't hold up exactly well, at least they look 3-dimensional, And I feel like for me
Nancy
personally,
Cartwright, by the way,
Nancy Cartwright, Bart Simpson, yeah.
Sorry,
we're in a cast. You wonder what the story of that was? I was like, oh crap, I got to shoot next week, and I get this damn cast. But you know what I mean? Like I feel. Oh, and then Barney in the background there. I'm sure in the '90s we were all dying at that.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
But you know what I mean? I feel like we do miss a little, missing that extra dimension that we naturally lose from this.
And Brian, I will say, I mean, the 2014, the Gareth Edwards Godzilla actually does manage to capture a lot of what you're talking about. I mean, there's first of all, that movie takes forever to actually show us Godzilla, but the scene where he makes landfall, which you may not remember, in Hawaii, is terrific. It's just a masterpiece of building mood,
Yeah, and that's what Gareth Edwards does really well.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, but I think maybe that's why I didn't even have such a horrible experience watching this movie again, because I was sort of wowed by the visuals of it all.
No doubt, Roland Emmerich is a talent when it comes to a specific slice of genre.
Mm-hmm.
He has a skill set.
And his characters and his scripts can be a bit corny and whatnot, but yeah, visually, I mean, he makes good big movies. Good looking.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, like Day After Tomorrow, I liked it.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah,
as like a theatrical spectacle. 2012, as like watching it's disaster porn,
Yes, and I think that's his problem is he is just so predictable now, and it is just what city can I destroy now? Right?
Now here we get Animal, played by Hank Azaria, as he runs off, and we get this thematic riff by David Arnold, which is so much feels like something out of Independence Day. Kind of like, he's like the plucky reporter. Yeah, right here we hear some music where it's like, oh yeah, plucky reporter guy,
running over cars. Oh, by the way, I was like, what was the rain budget on this movie?
Oh, right.
This whole movie takes place in the rain.
And it's weird because a lot of the choices, they don't make sense in that
why wouldn't he move?
Yeah, like
his foot's coming down toward him.
Get out of the way! Don't stand there screaming. Like,
yeah,
it's not moving that fast. His foot. Yeah. Plus, the digital effects were in their infancy at this stage.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit wonkier than they should be.
Yes.
The Godzilla, the composition is not always seamless. And I mean, okay, granted, I'm looking at it with a 2019 eye.
Yeah, with a 2019 eye, I was actually impressed by them.
There's moments where it's
with context.
Yeah, there's some more than others. Like the thing we saw earlier where Harry Shearer's on the phone and the Godzilla stalks behind him. I don't know. To me, that takes me out of it because it just the render doesn't look like it's quite there. The Godzilla.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem they had, and it becomes really evident later with the miniature Godzillas. Yes, they're missing a layer of atmosphere or something to blend them into the environment that they're in. But otherwise, I was like, man, that looks kind of good. They don't fit into the frame naturally, per se, but the texture of them, I was kind of like, wow, and this was when it was brand new.
And it really, I mean, but when you think about it, here's my point. You had Jurassic Park 5 years earlier. Yes. You had The Lost World 1 year earlier. And both of those films do better, in my opinion, than what this one attempts to do.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah.
And so if we're talking about the CGI curve, it's like this dip.
Yeah, but I feel like I've seen movies in the past 10 years with worse visual effects than this one.
I think CGI. Well, I mean, I think it tells you something that just in general, to the point you're just making, that Jurassic Park, both of the Spielberg Jurassic Parks, you can't find the seams and the effects even now.
Yes. Oh, you know what though? That was something I wanted to bring up that I couldn't. I tried researching this, but the effects in this movie apparently, got an update when they up-res to 4K.
Really?
Did you see that? That was some little factoid I read, and I guess Emmerich they'd never been rendered the way that he wanted, and so he took that opportunity to improve them. And so I wondered if that was part of the reason why I thought some of them looked a little bit better than I imagined they would.
That's a possibility.
So I'd be kind of curious. I was looking for a side-by-side, but apparently the world wasn't clamoring for it, so there isn't one. But I was curious. I wanted to see 98 versus 2019, what it actually looked like, if it was noticeably different.
Yeah, and going back to what I was saying earlier, it's funny to me that they made their pitch in front of like a Toho boardroom.
Yes.
They got their maquette of whatever Totopoulos comes up with, and basically the Toho board or whatever, they're like, come back tomorrow. Like they needed to sleep on it.
Wow. And did they ever approve it?
They did. The next day they were like, all right, go for it. Like to their credit.
Okay.
To their credit, they signed off on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I read somewhere that they gave them like a 75-page dossier on the things they can and cannot do.
Yeah, and Roland Emmerich ignored basically everything on the list.
Yeah, it said Godzilla cannot eat people, only fish. Yes. He has to have 3 rows of dorsal fins. He cannot die in the movie.
He can't run and hide. Matthew Broderick must not star, I think was in the... And this above all, Ferris Bueller must not star in this movie.
This above all. See this, like even this shot with all those cars, I was like, movies just don't do this anymore. Like there's the scope, even though we are able to do anything the imagination can come up with, I feel like scope is still missing. And I don't quite know what that is.
think, what you're saying is especially to me evocative of what he did so well just 2 years earlier with Independence Day.
Yes. That's a global movie, and it feels like a global movie.
Yes. And I'm certainly not going to defend Independence Day on story grounds, but there's no doubt that movie made me feel a certain way when I watched it, and I still feel that way whenever I end up revisiting it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And this is funny because we just talked about Godzilla King of the Monsters a couple days ago, and what I said to you after our discussion was I liked it because it made me feel like I did when I watched Independence Day.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me that this movie, which is by all the Independence Day people, made me cognizant in the moment of how hard it is trying to be an Independence Day but not working.
Well, let's talk about this, by the way.
Oh, my God.
The mayor and his assistant.
Yes.
Literally
Mayor
called
Ebert and Gene.
Yes. And obviously actors meant to resemble Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. And they act like bumbling goofballs who hate each other.
Yes.
What he's munching on candy there. Stop eating so much candy, Ebert. And I read that Siskel and Ebert obviously were not amused, but they weren't amused because they're like, well, they didn't even do anything funny with him. They're like, why didn't they have the Godzilla step on him or something?
Yeah, and this is Michael Lerner as Ebert, who he's like another... this movie's just packed to the gills with character actors.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I love what Ebert said. He says, one must carefully repress intelligent thought while watching such a film. The movie makes no sense at all except as a careless pastiche of its betters.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
This is
Jean Reno, by the way.
Real quick, here's what Roger Ebert said in his review about the Mayor Ebert and Gene characters. He says, these characters are a reaction by Emmerich and Devlin to negative Siskel and Ebert reviews of their earlier movies, Stargate and Independence Day. But they let us off lightly. I fully expected to be squished like a bug by Godzilla. Now that I've inspired a character in a Godzilla movie, all I really still desire is for several Ingmar Bergman characters to sit in a circle and read my reviews to one another in hushed tones. You know what's funny is I remember reading that specific quote in 1998, and I've never forgotten it. That was the
Really?
power. That was the power of Roger Ebert.
That's pretty amazing. You know, something that's kind of fun that I do every now and then. I'll get on these little whims where I'll be curious. Like I'll watch a movie that I love or some movie I've never seen from the 70s, 80s, or 90s, and then I'll think, I wonder what Roger Siskel and Ebert thought about it. And then I'll go on this whole rabbit hole on YouTube.
On YouTube, they have them all. They have so many of them.
Yeah, and it's so cool to watch them react to movies that are now thought of as classics. And they either right away were like, yeah, this is brilliant, or they're like, this is not good at all. Like Full Metal Jacket or something.
Yeah.
You know, I think they didn't. One of them didn't like Full Metal Jacket, and you're like, oh, fascinating.
Yeah. Ebert was down on Die Hard when it came out. You know.
Yeah. It's pretty. And then sometimes they change their minds, which you're entitled to with time.
Okay,
but it's just
critics'
it's a pretty fun way to time on YouTube.
Yeah, the Mayor Ebert character, I had that exact thought. I'm like, it would work as a funny gag, and then you just get on with it.
Yes, and then you squash him or something.
Yeah.
But he's a whole character in this movie.
He's not inconsequential, and that makes it feel petty,
Yeah.
right?
On the other hand, though, to be fair, remember when M. Night Shyamalan had a film critic get eaten by a monster and everybody got down on him? You wonder if you have a filmmaker squash a Ebert person, if it's like, okay.
But
Not that this is much better, but
to me, it's like, okay, you did it and it's done, and now we're on to the other thing.
Moving on, yeah.
But here, it's like in your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, certainly that's not like the factor that ruins the movie, because there are other factors that make it harder to watch, you know?
And it also is a good little litmus test for what movie you're watching. Right?
That's true. That's a good point.
So wait, real quick, I just want to talk about Roland Emmerich. I realized, for as humongous of a filmmaker as he was for a while, I don't really know a lot about him. And so I went and looked up some of his earlier work, and he did a movie called Moon 44.
Yes,
which gets referenced in this movie later as a cab ID, MN44. And do you know what this is?
I only know of it, and I know that Dean Devlin was in it as an actor.
And that's how they met.
That's how they met, yeah.
Yeah, and I watched the trailer, and it basically looks like an Aliens kind of rip off.
Yeah. And
it doesn't look good, I'll say that. But it looks kind of good. Like, you can see where you're like, oh, well, I would give this guy a script and let him direct it, because it looks like he was able to do a lot with very little. I was completely surprised by it looked like Alien, kind of. Not as good, but I the level of effects with, I don't know, you can tell that he had something.
Yeah. Well, that was like 1990.
Yeah.
And that was when, there was a time when you got a lot more of these like really low budget movies that weren't like mockbusters. You know what I mean? They weren't like your Transmorphers and stuff. They were trying to do something. They just had, 2 quarters and a nickel to rub together.
Yes.
So it's stuff like Moon 44, or I'm thinking even like Deep Star 6 and Leviathan and things like that, which Stephen Sommers got his start on one. I think one of those things. That's where Roland Emmerich came from. Yeah.
So now I think of those sorts of movies and I picture something very flat.
Yeah.
But I was impressed by the models and the effects work at play, even in what looked like a sort of smaller, cornier sort of movie.
Yes.
But then you can see, because I guess my whole point is, I was wondering, how does this guy all of a sudden get to make Stargate?
Well, right? I think Stargate was a convergence of a lot of stuff. I mean, the fact is that it was not a studio movie. It was through Carol Co.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
See, I hardly remember Stargate. I just remember it being a big movie.
It was, but it kind of came out of nowhere, Stargate.
See, yeah, this is what I don't remember. Tell me about it. I mean, it was, because I mean, it had to have had a big budget, right? I mean, isn't that like big...
55 million is like mid-range, right?
Oh wow!
I mean,
it feels bigger.
That's what I'm saying. He made 55 look like 100.
Yes,
and that movie, because I remember loving Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it in the 90s. I revisited it recently, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to leave this in the 90s. It doesn't hold up at that same level, but at the time, oh my gosh. It looked like it had a scope and scale that was really, we didn't really see in science fiction movies in that era,
Yes.
And so Independence Day, for me, Independence Day was a absolutely transporting experience when I saw it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching that and being like, whatever these guys do, I want to watch it.
Uh-huh.
So that was me going into Godzilla. And to the point that you're making, I mean, I think a skill that Roland Emmerich has is he's able to make the dollars show up on screen,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Say what you want about this film, it does not look cheap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, then so of course then he blows up and becomes this huge deal. And when I worked at New Regency, I remember when the movie 2012 came across my boss's desk.
Yes.
And she could only have it. I think our company could only have it for a matter of hours, and they had to pass it around and take turns reading it. And it was written on a special paper where, no joke, you had to have a decoder device, almost like 3D glasses, that you would hold over the page to see the words and push it down the page so you could read the script.
That seems wildly excessive given the movie that 2012 is.
I know, it's funny because at the time you're like, oh, and then you pass and it comes out, and it is what it is.
It is what it is. And it's John Cusack playing the Matthew Broderick.
Yes.
Who is himself playing the Jeff Goldblum, who is himself playing the James Spader. It's
yes.
So these Emmerich films have a certain type. Now Dean Devlin, who co-wrote the script. I mean, I remember when this movie came out, right? And it's funny because 1998. I think back to who I was at that time. What I remember is being a huge film nerd, just like you were.
Mm-hmm.
But this is before Twitter, and it's before the movie news sort of was in full blossom the way it is now online. So you would just get whatever tidbits you could. You'd go to Ain't It Cool News or Dark Horizons or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember being excited for it, but I remember how quickly the internet turned against this movie.
Mm.
And there was a Godzilla website with a message board, and Dean Devlin used to post on it.
Oh.
And he like broke bad in a big way.
Oh, really?
Like, if you don't get it, it's your fault. And, he really, he took it personal fast.
Wow.
But what's interesting is that John Calley, who was head of Sony at the time, he had enormous faith in Devlin and Emmerich. And he basically took the blame for how badly this movie turned out. And his contention all along was like, these guys screwed me over. And he passed away recently, but he was like, there was no opportunity to test screen it. There was no chance to make like basic narrative changes. They kept everything so close to the chest that we didn't even have the chance to make adjustments. He's like, we would have changed this, we would have changed that. And on one hand, I'm like, well, that sucks. But on the other hand, it's like, well, why would you hand over so much? Why would you give so much carte blanche to these guys?
Yeah, and I would be fascinated to know what they would have changed.
I mean, the studio would have had notes because I'm sure you watching this movie had your own mental notes. Like, well,
sure.
maybe get rid of this and change,
Yeah.
I have to imagine that one of the first things. Okay, so this is like really our first look at the creature.
Look, yeah.
And he looks like Jay Leno with that chin. Hey,
what about John Hamm? That's like that's a Batman chin right there.
Hey, we just got some headlines here. Did you see this? You see this, Kev? Hey, Jay.
Forget it. Kevin Eubanks. So people who are not watching, they have been trying to lure Godzilla out of the sewers by putting a huge pile of fish in the street, and now he showed up. And now he's staring down Matthew Broderick. So now what are we supposed to infer here? That he will not eat humans unless provoked?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. The movie doesn't quite know what to make of Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he lovable? Is he terrifying? What you know? And it's I think that's one of the weird bipolar things about the movie, and where it trips itself up a little bit, right? Because here's the thing, right? When you depict Godzilla as a force of nature, right? And I think this is something that the legendary movies have amped up because they've made Godzilla so enormous that, you know, the humans have no impact on him at all, right? Then that sort of that situates you in a different level story wise. Whereas this film, I mean, he's big, but he's not mega big. And so it's a lot of him like running and hiding behind buildings and doing all this, right? I mean,
yeah,
right
like
there,
the skyscrapers of New York are like a maze to him. He's not taller than them.
yes, exactly, right?
Right.
And like what we're seeing right here, I mean, he's in essence the T-Rex from Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
right? And that's fine, but I think to a large extent you minimize Godzilla as a character when you just say he's just an animal. Right, and it tells you something that Toho, like once Sony's license lapsed, right? Because they had the license for 10 years, presumptive of them making sequels, which didn't happen, right?
Right.
The idea that Godzilla with like a little disposable camera would like blind him,
right.
like come on. But so
I was thinking it's a bummer that he doesn't have like a high res digital camera because his pictures are gonna look like garbage.
That's right. See right there. See they're like launching stuff at Godzilla, and he screams and he runs. And to me, right away, I'm like, well, that just diminishes. That makes Godzilla less intimidating. Right.
By the way, I love all this miniature stuff of these of the buildings.
It looks great. There's, by the way, for all the CG, anytime you see like a close up of Godzilla, like from the waist up, that's actually a dude in a suit.
Yeah.
Anytime it's his head, anytime he's busting through any wreckage or anything, it's suitmation. It's a guy, just like the old Toho style, you know.
Yeah.
So the license lapsed. So this is 98. So by like 2002, 2003, Toho reclaimed the full license, including everything that Sony did. So the design of Godzilla is now owned. The Sony Godzilla is now owned by Toho.
Okay.
So it's very funny because there's a movie from 2001, I think it's called All Out Monster Attack, and there's a character talking about a monster attack in New York, and you have some of the characters like, wasn't that Godzilla? And one of the other characters like, no, the Americans think it's Godzilla, but we're pretty sure it's not.
That's great.
Right? And then in 2004 they made Godzilla Final Wars, and you actually have this character show up, this monster who is now called Zilla, not Godzilla. Because Americans took the god out of Godzilla, so he's just Zilla. So that's like officially like his name in the Toho catalog. He's Zilla, and he shows up to fight Godzilla, and Godzilla just like whips his tail and flings him into the like Sydney Opera House, and he just explodes.
So here we got Emmerich's MO here, destroying the Chrysler Building,
destroying monuments.
This is kind of funny actually, though. The guys in the jets, the heat-seeking missiles, and then it moves and they blow up the Chrysler Building. That one guy's like, uh-oh.
That's like right out of Independence Day.
Yeah. Sorry. So wait, no, why does Godzilla not have a heat register?
Because he's cold-blooded.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember there being I thought one of these pilots had a funny name, and I was gonna make a joke, and I already forgot what it was.
That clip right there, that's from the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
Oh, funny.
Which is a famous Ray Harryhausen stop-motion monster movie.
Seriously, though, how miserable would it have been on this movie with all this
Just
rain
all the
every
rain.
single day? I
All
saw they
the
did
rain.
2.4 million gallons of water for this movie.
Jeez.
It's incredible.
That's
Look,
ridiculous.
see, this reminds me actually of the Back to the Future ride. All this
yes.
through the buildings kind of
totally.
effects.
Yes. This right there, right? The POV.
Yeah, yeah, exactly this.
Wow, how fun! I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right.
On YouTube, I watched a behind the scenes of how they made that Back to the Future Universal ride, and it just never occurred to me. I'm like, oh, they had to build all that.
Wow.
They took a camera and made it look like you were flying through. It's crazy, the amount of work. So yeah, to our eyes now, it stands out as sort of weird, but pretty impressive craftsmanship.
But the thing is, Brian, that this is not a situation where like you look back on a movie that you liked as a kid, and I mean, it didn't even land back then. You know?
Yeah. It's driving me crazy. One of the pilots had like a funny call sign, and then
Mailman. No, I'm just joking. That's from Hot Shots.
Hot Shots. Yeah. Topper.
Yeah. Wash out.
Right. Well, yeah. Oh. There we go. Whoa.
See, there's something about practical effects.
There is.
This is sort of like in Independence Day when they're like the president is monitoring the first attack on the big ship, and just the squadron is just being taken out one by one.
Yes. Oh, you're right. Oh, this is it, by the way. The guy's name is Snooze. I was like, you snooze, you lose. I don't know if I'd want that to be my call sign.
Snooze. Yeah, how do they decide call signs, right? Is that picked for you?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, oh, you're going to be a Hershey squirt. Like, oh, come on.
Hershey squirt. Siskel Never. Here, eat your candy.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, it's funny because he's overweight. See?
Exactly.
There's Godzilla humping the building there. Now they kept.
And why not?
Why not? Exactly. That's what Godzilla said. They kept the roar, the iconic Godzilla roar.
Oh yes, and that reminds me. I was going to mention. I read, they got rid of his electro breath.
Yeah, like
right?
how are you going to do that?
So instead, they gave him like a hyper wind action sort of thing, which is really, really easy to capture cinematically. Hyper wind.
Hyper wind.
Well, but this is coming from a guy who has people out running cold, right?
Yes.
In the day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow. You just if you close the door behind you, then the cold won't get you.
Right. But it's funny too. By the way, now we're looking at Harry Shearer again. He's a guy who is famously vocal for the things he does not like doing. Right? He is very apparent, and he's very clear that he doesn't enjoy doing The Simpsons anymore.
Yes.
And I wonder how he felt being on this movie, because he does what he was brought on to do.
I mean, he's playing a Harry Shearer character.
Yeah, but you wonder if but when the cameras weren't rolling, if he's like, ugh.
Okay, so real quick, this is a scene. I need to point this out.
Yes.
This drives me crazy in movies. He says, do you have any, especially ones that look for gonadotrophic this and clomiphene citrate?
Yes. He's trying to buy a pregnancy test.
Yeah, and this is like movie logic, right? Who would do that? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
You're talking to a pharmacy clerk. You would say, "Can I have your pregnancy test?" That's all you need to say.
All of them, please. How? Yeah. Which one? All of them.
All of
That's
them.
what you say.
No,
yes.
But the movie needs to let us know how smart he is.
Right. Hey, look at the Koosh pens, by the way, on the counter.
There's a time capsule.
Koosh ball. Do you have one of those?
Didn't everybody back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
okay. Well, I mean, do we want to talk about the movie? I guess they had some sort of falling out. And now they're reunited. So, what do you think's going to happen? You think?
Yeah, I know.
That's another thing. That was a big complaint, right, about the 2014 Godzilla, was that there was too much emphasis on the characters. And I saw someone calculated that there was only 11 minutes of Godzilla screen time in this one.
In the 98 one.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, this is a heavy character movie.
It is, and honestly, the character stuff that they come up with isn't. I was not unengaged by it.
No, me neither. I didn't come away hating this movie. it is what it is. I mean, it's sort of like when
Yeah.
I think, what I've really learned from doing these commentaries is when this thing is so close to the present, it's the only thing you can measure it against is like, do you think this thing's good or not? But then when you have 20 years distance and you have other things and you don't care anymore, you're like, oh, I see what they're going for. Like with Batman and Robin even, I was like, well, this isn't good. This will never be good.
Yes.
But I'm kind of enjoying watching it. It's not life or death because we've had plenty of other Batmans that have been much, much better since. So
I
who
totally
cares?
agree. I totally agree. And I think, if nothing else, it's a window into what works and what doesn't,
Yeah.
No, I mean, no
Yeah.
one sets out to make a bad movie. Nobody sets out to make a financial disappointment. Mm-hmm. And I, this is not the Magnificent Ambersons, this movie. But like you, again, I revisiting it, the character stuff I was more engaged in than I expected to be. Even though, again, I think Maria Pitillo is really bad in this. I think she's done dirty by the script. I think she's done no favors because the character is, in my opinion, profoundly unlikable.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She's just whiny and is really, I mean, it's like a 1990s stock female character.
Yeah, and we're being a little hard on her, but I think I actually had this thought the first time I watched it was for her. I mean, obviously this is her big break.
Yes.
And what a bummer, your big dream is to become this actor, and you could be completely capable, but whatever your big break is, it almost isn't up to you. And so if you, like you say, you aren't done any favors by a script or by a director or by editing or whatever else that some other movie would have done for you, I mean, that can derail your entire career.
It's really something. I mean, obviously the plan was for this to spawn sequels. They had a trilogy in mind, and she would have presumably come back for that. And like you said, yeah, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You look at someone like I don't know, Chris Pratt, let's say, right? Mm-hmm. If Guardians of the Galaxy sucked,
yeah,
there goes his movie career.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. Even though he's gone on to be this really likable personality that everybody enjoys seeing in movies now, but
right.
It just so happened he obviously had Parks and Rec before, but his big screen breakout as a funny action guy,
man.
Yeah, worked.
Yeah.
So
this is weird to me because they broke up like how long
I thought
ago?
that too. Yeah, so she's looking through Matthew Broderick's stuff, and they broke up, I think, 10 years ago, and he still has pictures of them exclusively. It's not like her and his family. Or,
and it's not like in an album or something. It's up like a weirdo. Like he's got a shrine to her. And so she sees that he still cares for her, and so she steals this tape with the rushes from Godzilla.
Yes, which are edited. Why was there an establishing shot of that hospital room on this government security tape?
No, we're past this part. We're in now.
She fast forwards to herself. Yeah. Yeah.
We're past it. When? Just now. When will then be now?
Soon.
So why would she take it? That's what's weird to me. Is she creeped out that he has these pictures up?
Oh, actually, I bought her taking the tape because this is how she's going to make her...
But not after she sees the pictures. That's my point.
I think she's only thinking of herself right now. This is the way she can beat Harry Shearer.
Maria Pitillo. I hate you so much. She betrays Ferris Bueller.
Mia Sarah would have never done that. Sloane. I don't know why I thought of the actress's name before I thought of the character's name.
No, she wouldn't have either.
Yeah.
This is. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. This is just. I'm just sort of looking at random tidbits I'd written down, but I just thought this was kind of. This is like stupid movie money crap. Apparently, they had a cross promotion deal with Anheuser-Busch.
Okay.
But it got canceled, so the visual effects artist had to digitally erase all the Budweiser labels on every beer bottle in this movie.
Oh my god!
Isn't that funny?
Well, I think Anheuser-Busch probably dodged a bullet there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the tie-ins were ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't really remember this.
This shot right here,
this
by the
effect
way,
is not great.
yeah, it looks really bad. I was about to say that.
This does not look good.
So it's a shot of like Godzilla's eye behind this like porthole.
Yeah.
Looks
Like,
pretty
well, a guy was walking down a tube and you think it's a dead end, but it ends up it was Godzilla's closed eye. And as he turns around, it opens and you see the eyeball. Oh, Taco Bell. Boom. Taco Bell in this movie. I'll never forget that. And I don't know why I'll never forget it.
Lizard.
What?
That was with the little chihuahua. Here, lizard.
Oh, yeah.
I need a bigger box.
See, I remember having that cup. Oh, by the way, so she does her news report, right? Like, all these people are working on this thing that may never air, which I don't know if that's how the news works. But they put it on a standard VHS tape, which would never happen. That would not be broadcast to air. It'd have to be on like a 3/4 inch or something like that.
Right.
I was like, the tape she stole was some sort of beta tape. I was like, why would they use a... Unless maybe that was a detail where they're like, well, she's just doing this by the seat of her pants, and that was all she had. And in that case, I respect it.
There you see that, folks. This is what Brian does. He finds his way to somehow make excuses.
Also, Jean Reno, I want to say again, I wrote down, no need, if we're in the future we come across this movie, there's no need to carbon date this movie. We know this is from the 90s.
That's true. He just kind of, where is he now?
I don't know, but I really like him.
I love Jean Reno.
I know. Dude, he's great in Mission Impossible. Professional.
And
all sorts
that's
of stuff.
it.
He's great.
You're like, I'm the Professional, and that's it. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, is that it?
I mean, it's not, obviously. I'm sure he's had a very long and storied career, but it's just weird how...
Well, those are the ones, obviously, that in my
yeah, I mean, he's never stopped working.
Yeah.
But, the majority of his movies... I mean, he was in Alex Cross.
Really? So I didn't see that, but
well, nobody saw it, but yeah. That's the one with Tyler Perry, remember?
Yeah. I want him to come back now, so...
Yeah. Jean Reno.
This happens a lot. We say these things, and then all of a sudden they actually happen.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
So that's what I'm putting out there. Bring Jean Reno back.
Jean Reno in the Jean Reno story. In a world where American movies need an ominous Frenchman,
right.
He answered the call.
Oh, you know what, by the way? So this character who has a cold, I always wonder... This happens every now and then. I wish I could think of another example, but when they give a character a cold for a movie, I'm like, that's kind of unpleasant, first of all. And then second of all, I mean, was that just because they didn't have a hook? So like, I don't know, freaking give him a cold.
Have him,
so he's always got a Kleenex.
Blow in his nose, yeah. See, this whole plot thread of making the not the Russians, sorry, the French, like involved intimately in the creation of Godzilla, it's a head scratcher to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd be curious what the calculus was behind that.
I don't know.
Now
it seemed like that was like a go-to joke for a while, though. It appeared, right? Like, blame the French. Friggin' French.
Maybe they'll surrender. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's French. Like, doesn't it seem like this sort of era, that kind of joke? Yeah,
there was a wild era where they were the go-to target.
Yeah.
This really, we're talking about character actors, and man, it's just so many. This entire movie is like, hey, that guy.
What is that actor's name?
That general.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like Mr. That Guy, right?
Yeah, there's one movie in particular I'm trying to think of right now that...
I need to look it up.
It's driving me crazy.
I know who he is, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I feel like I just recently watched something with him in it, where he's... Oh, wait, isn't he... He's in The Dark Knight Rises, and he's the priest that gets all mad at Joseph Gordon-Levitt on the bridge.
Oh, that sounds right. Well,
yeah.
The guy's name is Chris Ellis.
Okay.
And I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in The Dark Knight Rises. That's right.
Yeah.
So so Audrey, she stole the tape, and now Matthew Broderick got hung out to dry. Mm-hmm. You gave him the tape? I didn't give him the tape. What are you thinking, giving him the tape? It's like a Seinfeld routine here, but
I didn't give him the tape. Yeah.
What's the deal? But how many movies? Like, you'd think characters in movies would have watched enough movies. Like, when the guy is like, no, you gotta find the nest. Like, here, because the whole thing is like, no, you release this thing, you're out of here. So they kick him out. Yeah, but that doesn't negate the thing he said.
Yes, and that he's the expert. You need this guy. I was thinking that. And if I would tend to believe him. So it's like, all right, well, we need to beef up security because someone got into his tent and stole his stuff.
Right. It's not his fault.
Yeah. Wait, oh, by the way, so this is another thing I thought was funny. Emmerich, as you mentioned, didn't have an interest in Godzilla. He wanted to make an asteroid movie.
Yes.
And it turns out there are already 2 other asteroid movies that were going to be made. Isn't that funny, though? Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Yeah, that same summer.
Mm-hmm. So he had fine, how else can I destroy a city?
That, Brian, that summer of 98 for me, like, I feel like that marked my full bloom as like a fanatical film goer.
Huh, interesting. Which movies in particular?
I mean, I remember, that summer was Godzilla and, just all the stuff that was coming out. The Mask of Zorro was that summer. Armageddon, Deep Impact. What else? Small Soldiers was that summer. Lethal Weapon 4. Snake Eyes. Remember that Nicolas Cage piece of shit?
I do, yeah.
I mean, I remember that summer as so distinctly being where I would just be going to the theater like every week. It was part of my routine, and that was really when it happened for me.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I have X-Files. The X-Files movie was also that summer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't even watch that show, but I saw the movie.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
This scene, like it's cringe-inducing for me. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like normal human interaction. Where
it's funny. It didn't bump me so much. I mean, not that I thought it was good, but I think I knew what world I was in.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, we're watching Nick. Matthew Broderick. We haven't even called out the running gag of how no one can pronounce his name.
Right.
Tatopoulos, and it's like, is it that hard to say Tatopoulos?
Tatopoulos, I know.
Right, but she's apologizing to him, and I don't know. It's you get why they're doing it, because we need to have like,
you need to like her.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just she lacks agency in this story.
Yeah.
Because so much of what happens is her being pushed and pulled from one direction to another. Because even like the stuff, that character development, her positive arc in the second half is really her being pulled along by Animal, Hank Azaria.
Yeah. You're right. She should be the one dragging him.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you got to. He's
she
like
needs
this.
him.
He's such a cartoon Italian.
Yeah.
Hey, vagaboo, bagababoo. But he's so likable. It's Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
How can you not like Hank Azaria? How can anybody not like you, Hank Azaria?
That's where he's getting kidnapped. Okay.
The sequels were canceled, but they had a treatment in place for the second one of these movies.
Oh, do you know what it is?
I know the gist of it. It would have involved spoiler alert. The movie ends with a.
No, I want to wait.
Oh, okay. In that case, we'll sit in silence for the next. Where are we at? Oh God, 1 hour and 10 minutes.
I actually just checked the time code. I was like, oh no.
I even before talking about the sequel, I remember walking out of this movie, and Brian, you know this story, but I was so like shell shocked by what I'd seen, and my friend pulled out a cigarette, and I was like, you know what? Let me have a cigarette. I had my one and only cigarette in my life after watching Godzilla.
You know what's funny? I remember that story, but I couldn't remember which movie it was. I love that it's this one.
I have such distinct memories of that, of being like, and I felt better somehow.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no. So the sequel would have involved more monsters and one of the baby Godzillas that hatches at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
At the end of this one, the only one now, would have imprinted on Nick, sort of like a baby raptor.
Interesting.
And then they would wind up in Australia, and it would be Godzilla versus another monster. So the goal was to end up closer to that.
Okay.
But of course, none of that happened. But what did happen is this movie spawned an animated spin-off.
Was this... No, you knew it before that. That was a different animated thing.
That was a different one. That was the Hanna-Barbera one. So there was an animated series based on this movie.
What was the conceit of that?
It was, honestly, they basically just did what that sequel was going to do.
Oh,
So
hey, why not?
yeah. So it just picks up where this movie leaves off, and you have Baby Godzilla, and it's the same characters. You have Louie and Nick and Animal and all them, and Nick is voiced by Ian Ziering. He's like the go-to animated voiceover guy I found, because he was like Harry Osborn in a Spider-Man show, and
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but the show. Here's my point. The show was actually it was produced by a guy named Dwayne Capizzi, who did also for Sony the Men in Black animated series, and it had that same style. I don't know if you ever saw that, the Men in Black cartoon.
No, I didn't. I remember it though. It had a very distinct style.
Very distinct style, yeah, and that too kind of picked up where the movie left off. So, and that was Men in Black the series. This is Godzilla the series. And my point is, it was actually really good.
I can imagine that.
It did exactly what you would expect like a Godzilla cartoon show to be. It was, I would say, legitimately good. I tell Godzilla fans, I'm like, even if you don't like the '98 movie, you should watch the cartoon shows that came out of it.
Yeah. Now so Hank Azaria's wife character is now hosting all these people who have been displaced.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, wow, I actually really like that detail. And it almost feels like a Save the Caddy sort of thing.
Sure.
That you could have done with another character who you weren't sure if you liked. It's like, yeah, well, they're a little gruff, but they let everyone in their house because they need help.
Sure, she calls him inappropriate names, but hey, at least she's not a stranger.
Maybe that's it, yeah. But I actually did kind of like this idea. I mean, that is another Emmerich sort of trope, people coming together. Oh, wait, dude, did you see that? There's an Independence Day VHS on her.
I saw that, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And there's a little alien toy later. Scooby-Doo. Is this a Warner's movie? No,
it's Sony.
That I don't know why that reminded me of The Exchange from Field of Dreams. Is this heaven? No, it's Sony.
It's Sony. Hey, Brian, you want to go for a catch?
I'd like that. That would be great if we just ended the commentary here. We had that music rise. And you just hear the Foley of us playing catch, and Amina flips a switch and is like, "Yeah,
what are you guys doing?"
Turns on the lights. Yeah, that's better. That's better. What are you guys doing?
I wonder, all the actors in this. So they're coming on. I mean, it's a huge property. Godzilla is well known. It's from the guys who made Independence Day. How, were they like, oh, we're going to be dining out on this for the next 10 years?
I would have to imagine.
Right?
Yeah.
That's got to be like if you're talking about the polls of franchise success, the good place to be is when it ends up becoming like a thing.
Yes.
Like if you're Robert Downey in the first Iron Man, you're like, I hope this does well, but obviously we just don't know. And then it's like more successful than anyone could have imagined.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you got Matthew Broderick. He probably put down a down payment on some Cayman island somewhere. he's already building a chessboard where people will be the people.
I aspire to that. Yes. Yes.
That's the dream, right?
Chessboard where people will be the pieces.
Yeah, and then like Monday morning after opening weekend, his accountant's like, Matthew, listen, are you sitting down?
Yeah.
I don't think the chessboard's happening, buddy.
Yeah. By the way, this joke here where they're passing out the gum.
Yes.
To all the French people, and he's just like, what's with the gum? He's like, makes us look more American. And then the camera pans, and all these guys are just chomping on gum. I thought that was very funny.
I thought it was funny. Well, and the bit where Jean Reno has that like perfect Southern accent.
Yes.
I thought it was
Which I was wondering if that was him.
I was wondering that too. Yeah, it felt a little like Sergeant Candy.
Yes,
in Terminator.
Terminator 3. Are we referencing a deleted scene, by the way? That's not even in the movie, right?
That is not in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to explain this. So in Terminator 3, there is a deleted scene that shows like the real life inspiration for the T-800 Arnold Schwarzenegger model, and it's this guy who's played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's dubbed in. So he's like, "Hi, my name is Sergeant William F. Candy."
You're right.
I'm not exaggerating. That's the thing.
It's literally, yeah.
And then we cut back to like the Cyberdyne people, and one of them's like, "I don't know about the voice," and then like there's like a skinny twerpy guy who sounds exactly like Schwarzenegger, and he's like, "We can fix it."
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, as a deleted scene, it's actually hilarious.
I think it's really funny, yeah.
But you can't have that in a Terminator movie.
Right.
So as a deleted scene, it's perfect. Find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, this right here.
Oh, here
sir, I'm fine.
Yeah. It sounds just enough like him that you're like, is that him? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Oh, that Elvis. Thank you very much. Which someone online pointed out is also what Jeff Goldblum says in Independence Day toward the end. Elvis, thank you very much.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah. Elvis was a huge thing.
Because he's like, Elvis has left the building.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, how funny. Okay.
But I mean, Elvis is still Elvis. But I mean, back in the 90s when there was sort of that 30-year gap between him and, the sort of the 30-year nostalgia.
And when you think about it, he had only been gone for 20 plus years.
Yeah. But I mean, even in Men in Black, remember, something about Elvis. And he's like, Elvis isn't dead. He just went home or something like that. Like, that was such a huge, Elvis is alive.
Yeah.
Tabloid.
I don't think you can make Elvis references anymore. I don't think people would get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Who would you reference now? Is that 70s or 80s? I guess we're up to the 80s now.
Or 90s now.
Yeah.
But I mean, even Tupac references don't really work,
Yeah, I guess everything doesn't have to repeat itself. it's just a nice little nugget.
I think honestly, our pop culture half-lives have gotten smaller.
Yeah.
This morning in my class, I was giving an example of charisma. I was trying to define charisma, and I was like, think of somebody who's charismatic, and there's like an older lady in my class who's like, Sean Connery. and I'm like, I agree. Quick question, everybody else, do you know who Sean Connery is? And like one person's like, was he Indiana Jones's dad? I'm like, I'm amazed that even one person understood that, but yeah.
Yeah.
No one else knows who Sean Connery is.
Well, he's been out of the public eye for quite a while now.
I know. It's weird to realize that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, back to Godzilla.
Right. Okay, so we're beneath a building, which we'll later find out is Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
And
So this right here, the whole sequence that's coming up here shows that they didn't really have enough confidence in their own premise, that they basically had to just take something from another movie.
Yes, meaning Godzilla wasn't enough. We have to introduce a bunch of raptor-like dinosaurs to contend with.
So we get a scene that's like right out of Alien. Where they, where they find all the nest.
Yeah.
Right. And then we do this whole, and really, I mean, it's it's really a digression with these baby Godzillas that are running loose in Madison Square Garden, and it just goes on forever.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, he looks now. He's like an iguana crawling on his belly here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading about like how the guy who was in the suit for like this, not this, but like the shot where we saw him coming out of the rubble there. Like the guy in the suit was having trouble. Like he was expected to stand like that, where he's like leaning over.
Mm. Oh, sure.
And it's like, well, the human body isn't meant to move that way,
I thought you were gonna say he's having trouble in his marriage. I was like, oh.
Ever since he played Godzilla, he can't get it up. I don't know. Unless he wears the suit, it's like a whole creepy thing.
What's going on now?
Yeah, I know. I think the problem it's shots like this, right? When you're at any time when you're like on a building overlooking Godzilla, you're doing it wrong.
Which is funny though, because I was just about to say I kind of like that shot, but that's not coming from someone who knows much about Godzilla. Like it's just a generic 90s monster film. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool looking. But I can understand if I was like, no, but you don't understand. Like if they met like Batman or someone, right? And they're like, yeah, Batman, he's using his Vespa. I'm like, but what?
Or no, if it's like if you're like, oh, Batman, he's like a bat, so he has like shrieking powers like a bat.
Yeah, sure.
And you'd be like, well, no, he doesn't have, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, and he runs super fast. So let's have the super fast Batman running sequence. You're like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So to me, it's tricky, right? Because you don't want to get on this high horse like being a gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, well, that's not how it's supposed to be, And I'm not saying that because I'm amenable. I'm open to anything being changed if it improves the thing. But we're talking about a film that's widely reviled, and certainly is even people who like it will like it with like, well, I like it, but.
Yes, sure.
And so you do sort of do an autopsy a little bit, and you say, well, what are the reasons?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the mere fact that you're like, oh, well, it's like a generic monster movie, and it's like, yeah, but if you're making Godzilla, you don't want a generic monster movie,
right?
You want what that character has to offer, and it's interesting because Toho, anticipating the release of this film, they actually ended their series. So the way Japanese Godzilla films have worked, there's several distinct eras, right? So there was from the original from 1954 to like the early to mid 70s was what's called the Showa era, and then the movies went away from 74 to 84, and then in 84 they made like the Return of Godzilla, which is also called Godzilla 1984. Here in America, it's called 1985. Which, by the way, we were talking. The original, the Americanized version, they brought. I think I told you this. They have Raymond Burr.
Yes.
And they like Forrest Gumped him into the original movie.
Which is fascinating.
It is. And I've told you this. It's worth watching both of them because it's such a weird experience back to back. But so the 1985, when they released that here, they did it again with Raymond Burr as the same character.
That's very funny.
And that actually is the very first Godzilla movie I ever saw. Godzilla 1985. I saw it in 87 in Edmonton. So that series, which began there, is called the Heisei period, and that lasted for several movies until 95.
Okay.
So in 1995, the Japanese actually killed off Godzilla.
Oh.
In a movie called Godzilla vs. Destroyer. And it ends like in this way where like basically because remember, he's like a living nuclear reactor. So he goes into meltdown basically.
Okay.
And so he defeats like the final monster, he saves Tokyo, and then he just melts down, and you actually see him just kind of implode basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like borderline horrifying. And especially because this is a character.
Visually, or because you like the character, you mean?
Well, but both, to be honest. I mean, visually, it's quite, kind of disgusting, and then emotionally, because it's Godzilla,
Mm-hmm.
And so my point is like that was a big deal in Japan. That was like it was like Iron Man dying,
Yeah, or I was gonna say like killing Superman or something.
Yeah, And the idea was, okay, we're going to go into hibernation for 10 years while the Americans do their thing. But it's fascinating to me. There's a hubris involved when you're an American studio and you're like, oh, well, here's this thing that's worked this way for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Let's change literally everything and call it that and be like, hey, we did it. We fixed it for you.
Right.
Hey, guys, we fixed it. Here you go.
Yeah.
And to some extent, this scene right here totally reminds me of Independence Day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of horrifying. All those people in that sub are dead.
Yes, right? Yeah, when the sub goes dark and then it's like, we've lost this, it's totally the scene where the ships are being taken out.
Yes.
See, these CG right here, it's very cool. It's very effective.
Yeah.
I think the look of Godzilla in this movie is an interesting thing because the choices that Patrick Tatopoulos made were specifically about being as far afield from the original one as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually said this where he was like, I felt like it would be more insulting to take the original version of Godzilla and make a few changes here and there and be like, here.
Right, right. Which that I get that.
Which I suppose, yeah. But I think, and so from his perspective, he's like, look, if you're going to change it, make something totally different.
Yeah.
That's fine. But the question is that what audiences would want?
Yeah.
Now,
You know, it's kind of fascinating. I'm sort of realizing now, having you and I just watched Godzilla King of the Monsters, and again, I'm going to say this, like I have no connection to this character at all. So I'm just going in and watching a thing that I realize is precious to a lot of people. It actually, to me, the characters reminded me of characters from a Roland Emmerich movie.
yes.
In King of the Monsters, especially, what's his name? The Bradley Whitford character.
Oh my gosh, totally. Yeah.
Right? But it's funny because, I mean, the movie is as silly and logical as a Roland Emmerich movie, but they respected the Godzilla character.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you seem to be like, yeah, I know like the story's silly and the dialogue's silly and the characters are silly, but I really enjoyed seeing the thing I love doing the thing I love.
I think what you say is very apt in that, as I said, I'm like middle of the road Godzilla fan.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of appreciation for the character and his history. But I have friends who are diehard, and that's what they keep coming back to. They're like, if you're giving me a kaiju movie, and kaiju meaning giant monster, it gave me what I want. I want
Yes.
these kaiju fighting each other.
Yes. Yeah.
And to me, it's the same reason. Like I was pretty cold on Pacific Rim, but the people who love that movie love that movie.
Yeah.
And why? Because it's a visualization of this this world that they love being in. Giant monsters, giant robots. And yeah, I mean, I think that, like we said, the characters are not the problem with this movie. Fundamentally, it's the conception of Godzilla.
Yeah. And that's what I'm sort of realizing then is in this new one, the characters are also equally as broad
Yes.
in some ways. But the conception of Godzilla was one that fans enjoyed. So it's sort of like the alternate universe version of someone going for something big and it occasionally silly, but giving fans what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if I'm Roland Emmerich, I'm kind of like, if you can't even find a way to appreciate the character as he exists or has existed, then what kind of ego does it take to be like, oh, I'm going to show you how to do it right?
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know if that's a presumptuous thing of me to say, but I mean, what else can you attribute that to, right?
Yeah. It reminds you also in the 90s. By the way, this reminds me of a ton of Aliens. Not just the eggs. I was going to say it before the eggs were even in frame, but this whole stroby military.
Yeah, right. It's so they've discovered the nest, which might as well be, John Hurt walking in and
yes.
I
actually kind of like the way this looks.
No, it looks great. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, they're below Madison Square Garden, revealed by the giant sign dropping down and then seeing that.
I think the juxtaposition of the familiar with the novel, this does really well. You have a piece of real estate that certainly, whether you live in New York or not, Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
And then you drop these Godzilla eggs in there, and then eventually these baby Godzillas. I mean, that makes for a really stark and interesting visual contrast.
Now has that's pretty good. That's a pretty good reveal.
Right there,
those
yeah.
eggs in the stadium. Has Godzilla ever had eggs before? No,
this was an innovation of the film.
Uh-huh.
And it was obviously extremely controversial because it Godzilla's a boy, damn it.
Right.
That's what the fan said. I to be perfectly honest, it didn't matter to me. That was of all the issues I had with this movie, that was the least of it. Like, okay, if you tell me Godzilla lays eggs, I don't really care about that. I think for me, it was more a problem that it was an excuse to have this like blatant Jurassic Park ripoff.
Yes. I mean, just mere years afterwards. So
I mean,
hoping to
this
coast
is
on that a bit.
1 year after The Lost World,
Yeah.
which has plenty of pieces where they're playing keep away from raptors.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my son, my oldest, was watching some of this with me. He was dipping in and out, and we got to the part with Madison Square Garden, and he was and this kid is becoming cynical like me because he goes, so they're just ripping off Jurassic Park, huh?
Like, you are my son.
And it does feel unnecessary, right? Because when you really think about it, Godzilla is off the grid now for a huge chunk of the movie. We forget about him.
Yeah, this movie has no business being 2 hours and 20 minutes. So
Really?
you take 30 minutes out of your movie, you have him gone for a little bit, you regroup, and then you figure out how to get him in one spot and resolve your problem.
Yes. It's weird. I mean, the pacing is really skewed.
Mm-hmm.
Some cool practical effects here.
Yeah.
With the baby dinosaurs, there some pieces where the CGI was a little too obvious to me later on, but
Yeah, when they're in the hallways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you wonder. I mean, I genuinely wonder what the calculus was behind this because I don't know. The sweet spot for most blockbusters to me is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like 210.
210 is about as far as I'm willing to go. Actually, that's not true. I will go.
Yeah.
But that's a comfortable amount of time.
Well, you know what I tell my students is I'm like, anything after 210, every minute after 210 needs to be spent justifying why it's longer than this.
Yes.
So, when you get your, like, let me put it this way. Avengers Endgame was like 3 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
That movie, if they would have added 20 minutes onto it, I probably would have been okay with it.
Yes. I've seen it twice, and I never once felt the 3 hours.
Yes. Right? And so it's that question of, like, do we need the extra 10 minutes? Do we need, and if we think of screen time as life, like these are seconds of my life I'm spending watching this thing.
Yeah.
It's like you could have easily chopped 10 minutes out of this movie and it would have not been effective. And not even character stuff, because I would have kept most of the character stuff. I would have chopped a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
I don't even mean get rid of this baby Godzilla scene, but lose 5 minutes out of it and you have a stronger movie.
Yeah, and then start the chase through the garden.
Yes.
That looks pretty good.
It does.
This stuff.
I think the problem, and I can speak to watching this the very first time, it was less like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But it was at that moment watching, you're like, oh, I see what they're doing.
Yeah, I remember feeling that as well. Like the movie took a turn here.
Yes.
And you thought about it. It took you a bit out of the movie.
It took a turn out of Godzillaville.
Yes.
Into Kreitenberg.
Oh, so speaking to that then, with Emmerich being vocal about not liking Godzilla and almost not wanting to do this movie for that reason, I guess he turned down Spider-Man for the same reason. He was like, well, I'm not a Spider-Man fan. So, I mean, it's a good thing he didn't. They didn't do it anyways. I
mean, shouldn't that be like decision one? Can I tolerate this thing? Like, do I, without having to change everything about it?
Right. Yeah.
That's a weird. I don't know. It's like Tim Burton doing both Batman and Planet of the Apes. He came at it the same way, where he's like, well, I have a hard time plugging into this. I'm going to change it into this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think with Batman, it kind of, whatever changes he made still worked.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was still operating within this corporate framework where it wasn't going to be able to look too different than what it's supposed to be.
Right.
But like certainly with Planet of the Apes, he said like, I didn't buy this, so I had to change it into this. It's like, well, then don't just do something else then.
Yeah.
Go draw squiggly lines on something else.
But yeah, I was gonna say in the '90s. I mean, this was sort of peak. Let's take something we know and turn it into something we don't recognize, right? Like they were gonna have the Superman with no cape.
Yeah, that's
right. Who couldn't fly, and there were all these things. And then that was when the internet, the rise of internet news, right? And when people found out about that and critiqued it to death and
Yeah, I mean,
threatened to riot, they're like, oh, let's not make this.
that was another Tim Burton thing.
Yeah.
Superman Lives.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, now, again, thanks to the internet, you can see pictures, you can see test footage of Nicolas Cage in costume
Yes.
with his long hair, and it looks... I'll be honest, I do want to know what that movie would have turned out like,
super curious.
and there is that documentary about it, right? Which I think you've
Yes.
seen it, right?
I have.
But maybe this would have been something. I mean, who knows?
Could have just been an interesting 2 hours, whether or not we ended up wanting to add it to the Superman canon.
Yeah, I mean, this goes to something we were talking about throughout this conversation, but the older I get, the harder it is for me to, hate a movie,
Mm-hmm.
I can dislike a movie,
Yeah.
but then I just leave it in the theater and I get on with my life,
Right. Right.
And there's certain, and Godzilla 98 was not an example of a movie that I hated or loathed. Because I was not enough of a fan to be actively offended.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But certainly I remember Batman and Robin watching it in 97 and sort of having an existential crisis,
I remember being offended by that one, yeah.
Yeah. And then, like you said, you and I, we revisited it 2 summers ago, and we're like, all right, well, that was the thing that happened. Moving on.
Exactly, yeah.
Nothing to see here. Move along,
Yeah.
So maybe that's just I love this, by the way. He's like, oh, yeah, call this number and have him call in an airstrike. I'm like, how does he know that? How does he know that number?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, airstrike from whom? The
Yeah.
U.S.? Why would he have their number?
Yeah, he's like, tell them it is Operation Dragonfly. Or it's a code Dragonfly or something like that.
Huh.
Remember Busy Signals?
Yeah. I was thinking about that too. In the payphone here. I was like, wow,
Busy
this just went away
Signals,
really
payphone.
fast.
I love where Audrey's like, oh, the cameras here or the system here is on an internet.
Yes. Oh, on an internet. And she's basically having to explain to the audience what email is. She's basically emailing someone, but she has to have this whole paragraph of exposition so we understand that's possible.
Which is
That was
funny because email had totally been a thing for a few years at this time. It was not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was trying to remember, when I got my first email account and all that.
I had my email 96, so that's 2 years before that, and I'm a notorious late adopter, so email had been around for at least a couple of years by then.
Yeah, that's so funny. And I was going to point out about 3 minutes earlier, there were news reporters outside, and one of them had a goatee, and I was like, ooh, yeah, the 90s. Can you imagine a news reporter with a goatee?
That's right. Yeah, you just wouldn't see that today.
Yeah.
You would have either a full beard or clean shaven.
Yes.
Those are your polls, yeah.
Yeah, goatees, man. Those just kind of happen, and now they're not.
That's a very specific flavor of 90s douche. And that goatee.
Well, I had a goatee.
You were a very specific flavor of 90s douche, yeah.
Apparently it was.
Did you have a beard when I first met you?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm trying to think, yeah. Because we met not too long after this movie came out.
Yes,
Well,
1 year.
Like a year later.
Just about a year. So yeah, now this stuff is not rendered very well.
No.
I think their textures look okay, but they don't look blended into the room.
Yeah, it's 1 or 2 renders away from where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But all of it's just, I mean, this is time, y'all,
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I mean, we don't really know this guy.
Yeah.
We could sort of lose this and go straight to, we got to get on that camera so everyone can see this so they can let's go, let's blow this place up.
Yeah. It's look at that. This is a total alien. Right before the door opens, where the light, the shafts of light coming through the holes.
That is actually kind of cool. I can see why.
Oh yeah, totally.
I do kind of enjoy this chase through the stadium when he's throwing over the gumball machine and tripping it up and all that.
It's weird though, because tonally, it feels more like a caper. It doesn't feel like there are stakes, certainly for Matthew Broderick. And I wonder, would you want to lean more heavily into the horror of it, or up the goofiness of it? Where do you want to be?
I guess for whatever this movie is, I don't mind it so much. I just, like you said, I wanted to hurry up.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, there again, they don't look blended in very well. You get that Blockbuster thing right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of like very specific '90s product placement here.
Yeah.
It's
this joke is kind of corny, but I kind of like it with the elevator
where it opens on
on the floor, the wrong floor. There's like all these Godzillas looking at him. It's dumb, but it's funny.
I think to some extent, my problem with this sequence is how it de-uniques the specific threat of Godzilla.
Like the big lumbering problem.
Yeah, you know. I mean, and I get it because it's a cool visual, you know, when Audrey gets back on the thing and they pan the camera around and you see all the monsters all over the stadium. It's like, oh, yeah, get us out. You know, you need to get this message out to the world. Like, you get it. But here's the problem, right? This goes to what I was saying earlier, where the movie doesn't know what it wants us to think of Godzilla. So we're supposed to rejoice when the stadium gets like firebombed, right?
Right.
That's a relief. They're gone. And then we have Daddy Godzilla get killed, and it's supposed to be sad.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
Right. So it's like, well, which is it? You know?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I forgot. They added this detail also. When the babies are born, they're eating fish.
Yes.
And then they have the humans smelling their clothes like, oh, crap, we smell like fish. So you think that's a little bit of they're going after them not necessarily because they're human killers.
Yeah, I think that's a deliberate thing to put in there.
Yeah. So yes, what the specific threat of them is a little confused. Right? If they are friendly or not to humans.
Well, I think the threat is articulated by Matthew Broderick in just a bit when he gets on the TV, right? And he's like, look, these creatures are all born pregnant. So if they get out, they will eventually supplant human beings. Mm-hmm. Which
Vera Farmiga is like, go on.
See, if you haven't seen Godzilla King of the Monsters, folks, that reference won't mean anything.
Pardon. Actually, when I watched, I forgot about this, but when I was in the theater, I remember her giving that speech, and I was like, so Vera Farmiga stars as Thanos.
Yeah, right. but again, you know, if you're gonna watch the King of the Monsters, the new one, and be like, oh well, the human characters work for what that is, then you gotta say the same thing here.
Yes, agreed.
It's their characters in a Godzilla movie, and I think when you look at the long scope of these movies, I mean, none of them are, you know, nobody's looking at the human characters as being the point of interest, you know.
Yeah. Here, let me try mine. I just feel we should have gotten this room a little quicker. But then, there's the alien from Independence Day on top of that monitor.
Yeah, another Patrick Tatopoulos design.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that design, by the way, of those aliens. A lot of times, aliens. Lately, I haven't been enjoying them once we've become so CG reliant. But that was a pretty good one.
I think that Tatopoulos in general has a very sharp design sense. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you just watched Super Mario Brothers recently.
I did.
And say what you want about that movie, I think you would concur. It is fascinating.
Yeah, it's not a good movie. I mean, and I know I've said that about this, and I'm somewhat weirdly defending this movie. Here's the email. Actually, I won't defend this movie, but I will say that I kind of enjoyed myself. But the Super Mario is just not good.
Yes.
However, it is a fascinating visual feast. I will say that.
Yes.
Yes.
It was my treat to be able to make that movie available to you.
Oh yeah, I did not mind watching it because, like I mentioned during Alien, there's some movies, and why I don't mind watching some movies over and over again is I watch them differently every time. I mean, sometimes I'm watching it because I care about the story, and sometimes I'm just like walking through a museum and looking at different, visuals.
Yeah.
And I don't mind looking at visuals I enjoy for 2 hours, and Mario's pretty fascinating visually.
I mean, I think you can draw a correlation between that movie and this, right? Which is both evince a desire on the respective filmmakers' part to be like, let's take this thing that's iconic for being a certain way and let's spin it in this direction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's why Mario, I will probably never watch it again. And why people don't ever talk about that movie is because they didn't make a Super Mario movie.
Right.
You know, it has the name only.
Well, it's like, I think I've said this on the regular show, right? To me, the Super Mario Brothers movie is like a YouTube trailer, like a fan-made trailer of, hey, here's, Funny or Die, like Christopher Nolan's Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because it's so hyper attenuated to make real this utterly fictional world that it collapses into a singularity of its hilariousness,
Right. So this is funny. This whole news broadcast they give, they're like, all right, if you don't blow up Madison Square Garden, the world, life as we know it could end. And then they're like, end transmission. I was like, well, why don't you say, give us 15 minutes to get out of here? You got to blow this up right where I'm standing. If anyone can hear me, blow it up.
That's funny.
Right now.
That's really funny. Yeah, and so again, this goes to what I was saying earlier, right? Okay, so these monsters' existence is a clear and present danger to the future survival of humanity.
Yes.
Then we should be happy that Godzilla dies too.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, the opportunity was there, and like it's like this movie wasn't even aiming for that. But I mean, you have the opportunity for a much richer critique of the forces that led to Godzilla being created.
Yes.
Right? Because if the movie is saying, look, this is just a regular run-of-the-mill iguana that got turned into a giant freakazoid because of what we've been doing, well then you own responsibility for what Godzilla's existence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So that there's an opportunity there for, I mean, I'm not saying that this needs to be like a 2-hour and 20-minute PETA commercial, but like you could have a conversation and weave that in,
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, when you hand it to the Independence Day guys, well, obviously you're gonna strain out any subtlety.
Or what you could do is, I mean, they introduce. It's kind of funny. They introduce him, and Matthew Broderick goes nose to nose with him, and everything's fine. But then, of course, our instinct is to shoot it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a mistake. So at the end, you could think like, okay, what we got to do is we got to lure Godzilla here, and this is how we destroy him. But then maybe there's some sort of bigger threat somehow, and then Godzilla saves us, and we're like, oh, maybe we've been going at this the wrong way. Like maybe we shouldn't shoot at the thing we don't understand before trying to understand it. And you could have gone that route.
And that's, I mean, that to a large extent, that's what the original run of Japanese films were about.
Right.
It's the original the first movie, the 1954 movie. How do they end up killing Godzilla? They invent a device called the oxygen destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
That, what does it do? It sucks the oxygen out of any living thing and reduces them to bone. So it's this device that's almost worse than Godzilla.
Mm.
And the person who invented it uses he knows how dangerous it is, and he knows it's the only chance they have to destroy Godzilla. So he takes it upon himself to take the device and detonate it. Why? So that Godzilla will die, and he will die with the secret of this device, so that it can never be used again. Right?
Yeah, I like that.
So there's like real like profundity there. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in the context of this goofy guy in a monster suit movie, you've woven in this real meditation on mankind's capacity to perpetuate destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I want to be very clear. I'm not even saying this needs to be that.
No, but I like that. Why not do that? If that's what Godzilla kind of is.
That's my point.
Godzilla's story.
And I think, it's like I said, I watched that original film for the first time this past week, and that like really hit me. I was like, wow, that's impressive,
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's the reason that 65 years later we still talk about this character in any way.
Yeah.
Because it's speaking to something deeper about the human condition, you know?
Yep.
So you kind of say, well, what is, you know what, here, we're talking about icons. Phoebe Waller-Bridge just gave an interview because she rewrote the latest James Bond movie.
Oh, okay.
And she's talking about how to update the character. And she's like, I want the films to treat their women better. Mm-hmm. And she said, so here's what told me how she understands the character. She's like, that doesn't mean I think Bond should. Bond should still be Bond, but the films should treat women better. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It's like that's Bond. Bond is a misogynist. It doesn't mean we have to applaud that, but we have to acknowledge that that's woven into the character.
But yeah, but then the way that if the movie is treating women poorly, saying that what do you mean? Like, you think specifically? How do you address that?
Well, I think the movie needs to critique Bond's treatment of women.
I see.
Right.
Yeah.
So it needs, in other words, the movie needs to point out he's wrong.
Yes.
And so maybe weave a character change in, but it needs to be coming from a place of you know, you can't do like Song of the South where you just pretend it didn't happen.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that's great. I'm very curious to see what the next one looks like with her.
Yeah, I think
polish.
I think James Bond is like a great example of like Godzilla. You know, it's a weird sentence. I didn't think I'd ever say it, but James, when you think about it, James Bond is just like Godzilla. But my point is, when characters last for decades upon decades upon decades, then you as the person tasked with telling a story of that character have to recognize that you are a temporary steward of this legacy. Mm-hmm. And your job, sort of underscoring everything involved, is you've been hired to do your thing while making sure you don't upset the apple cart too much. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's... these legacy things are tricky, huh?
They are. It's a challenge because you need to change so people feel like they're getting something new, but you can't be too different because then people will be like, well, it's not like the thing I know. Mm-hmm. I mean, ask Ryan Johnson. Jeez, he's been getting kicked around for 2 years now. Now, okay, so 5 seconds before this should have been Fade to Black. and then Daddy Godzilla shows up and I don't know about you watching this 2 days ago, but I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we
There's
should
this.
say what's going on. So basically, they did blow up Madison Square Garden. Actually, I did sort of like that scene in the lobby, by the way, where all the little, I'm just going to call them raptors, all the little raptors are in the lobby, and it's like, all right, the exit's on the other side of them. I love those sorts of things where you're like, well, how are they going to get over there?
Yeah.
And then Renault shoots the lamp fixtures, and they drop, work their way out, get out just in time, garden blows up, we think everything's over, but nope. Godzilla pops out of the
Daddy
rubble.
Godzilla shows up. He's like, hey, Kev, you see what Judge Ito did yesterday?
He's like, oh, man. It's crazy, man.
Bill Clinton got a blowjob the other day. Did you see that?
Or whatever you do. You know, like he does a little riff on the guitar. Or like the little bass. Boom.
I'm actually surprised they didn't find a way to get Jay Leno into this movie, because I feel like that was a 90s trope too.
Yes, like he would be riffing on it at night. Like, you hear what's happening out in New York?
Yeah, Godzilla.
Yeah, probably a joke about lawyers somehow.
That's actually we're way past this, but like that, that scene when Harry Shearer shows the tape. And it's the Gojira, right?
Yes.
And then Harry Shearer's like, yeah, so there you have it, Godzilla. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no. There's no way you get from Gojira to Godzilla and explain it up as a mispronunciation.
Right.
It's like movie logic trying to find a way to,
Yeah. Okay. So like you said, this movie should have faded to black. How much longer do you think there's left of this movie?
I'm going to say about 25 minutes.
Just about 20.
Oh, well, I'll be damned. Okay. No, well, if you include about 25, because we're at 155. And Credits. There's like 10 minutes of credits. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Brian, what else do you want to talk about?
Actually, I do kind of like this. I like this. This is kind of cool. Like, let's just call it a dinosaur chasing a cab through New York City.
Yes.
You know, I know this maybe might not make me popular, but The Lost World, which I don't love, I do like the San Diego sequence because I think it's cool seeing.
I think it's great.
You know, something that doesn't belong in a location I understand.
The Lost World is a movie, and you know this. I like it more than you.
Oh, really? I don't know if I did know that.
Yeah, I'm just generally a fan. I mean, I don't think it's Jurassic Park by any stretch.
No,
It's a movie I have no problem revisiting. It's weird because people line up to just shit all over that movie, and I think, you know, what's Roger Ebert's thing? He's like a good movie has 3 great scenes and no bad scenes, something like that. And I'm like, well, The Lost World has 3 great scenes. It just has a couple bad scenes too.
Yeah,
you know. But like the thing with the trailer
is awesome.
Is awesome, and then the thing with when the raptors are picking off the people as they're trying to get to the way station, that's great. And then the San Diego scene, you got 3 great scenes. I'm like, I'll watch a movie for those 3 scenes, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that scene, I don't think this was meant as a riposte to that. But obviously that is meant to evoke Godzilla. I mean, you have a scene in that, you have a shot in that where you have these Japanese tourists.
Right.
Who, and it's like borderline offensive almost. Like,
yeah,
we just zoom in on these Japanese tourists and they're like, oh no, not again. Or, you know, something to that effect. And
that was a big joke back then as well, wasn't it? Like sort of the bad dub joke.
Yes.
Yeah. I love this. This looks kind of cool. The cab,
it's
just
a
keeping in front of Godzilla's feet.
I think the problem, Brian, is that it's just too much.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, yeah, that's what we talked about. Oh, see, like there's this wind power, but then they there's like I don't know, like gas in the air, so there's some fire. It's like their remedy or their excuse. Yeah, it's like Man of Steel. We were like, no, this ending's pretty good. It's just 15 minutes too long.
We're tired.
Yeah. And you lose a little impact if it keeps going.
Yes. And you mentioned Godzilla's wind breath in this. That's one of his most defining things. He has radiation breath. He doesn't shoot fire. Think about that. He shoots radiation at you.
Right.
And you know, we see that depicted in pretty fine form in the legendary films. That's a weird thing. That's a weird thing to take away from the character. You know. Mm-hmm. That whole, what I said earlier, where they were like, they took the god out of Godzilla. You see that they're trying to bring him down to earth, but it's like, why?
Right.
Why make him run of the mill? You know?
Yeah. Oh, see, I know this. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
We're like stuck in this tunnel. Like, let's go.
And we have the whole like Magnificent Bickerson's thing happening in the back, where they're arguing over where to go and what to do.
Like New York streets.
Yeah, exactly. So this actor there who plays O'Neill, he's Doug Savant. And I was like, who is he? He looks so familiar. And then I realized he was on Melrose Place.
Oh, funny.
And this is where I admit to the audience that, yes, I watched Melrose Place. Oh, that Michael. He was so smug.
See, I don't think I ever watched. I watched 90210, but I didn't watch Melrose Place.
I was not, I was not a aficionado, but, you know. Yeah,
Placehead?
Kind of interesting because a placehead, exactly.
Placers? I don't know what you call them.
A placer. But that actor Doug Savant, he played a gay character on Melrose Place, and I think that's like the first time in a show like that where you had a regular, not a regular gay character, but because there had been gay characters, but like treated seriously, like
Right.
Because like Billy Crystal was gay on Soap. You ever watch Soap?
I only know it for that reason, actually.
For that, yeah, that's true.
I don't remember it ever being in reruns or anything.
Yeah, I don't know how I watched Soap. I know that's where Benson started.
Really?
Yeah,
was he a spinoff of that?
Benson's a spinoff of Soap.
Ah.
Look at that. Now you know. Next time you're at a party, you can be like, hey, folks, hold on.
Everybody, turn on the music.
John, can you turn that down, please? So here's the thing. You know Benson? No? Nobody?
Silence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that right there, the
Oh, there it
teeth
is.
always
Mouth.
distract me because they're so fake looking. The close up of the teeth.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's just, I don't know. That's the thing that always I remember that
Funny.
watching that in theater.
Yeah, you could have skipped that whole tunnel thing and gone straight to like get to the bridge, and then it pops out of the bridge, and oh crap! I mean, this is kind of fun. Them being in its jaws.
I would be okay with this if we hadn't slogged through the Madison Square Garden thing,
Yeah, agreed.
right?
Yeah, I kind of like this. Forget what he does. Oh, he shocks it. Yeah.
See, I think you know what's interesting is it's like when they remade King Kong in the 70s, 1976. Dino De Laurentiis produced it. Jeff Bridges starred in it, right? And they updated the setting to the present, to the then present, right? And so they made and that movie is very controversial. I happen to like it, but here's my point. Jeff Bridges' character is like like a primatologist or something like that, right? So his arc throughout the movie is he's trying to remove Kong from civilization while still keeping him alive.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I feel like if we're going to feel the sympathy that Matthew Broderick's character is supposed to, he demonstrates when Godzilla dies, we need to see something along the way that shows that he's trying to preserve Godzilla or keep him alive, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something. But again, it's hard to do that when you're like, oh, by the way, nuke this stadium here.
Right.
You know? See, there's something here where you see him getting wrapped up in the suspension cables that's so pitiful. Right? And it's like, well, we shouldn't pity Godzilla.
See, this is funny because I was just thinking, oh, that's kind of a clever way to trap him
It absolutely is.
for whatever this is. But yeah, again, considering that this is supposed to be Godzilla, King of the Monsters,
Yeah.
then yes, pitiful. Yeah, it's
Like,
I understand what you're saying.
There's something so soulless about having him taken out by just missiles from an aircraft. You're like, ugh, well, that's lame.
Easy. Yeah.
It's easy. You know what I mean? Like again,
Yeah.
there needs to be a sense of stakes. Like if you position Godzilla as the product of our own hubris, and then we have to pay a cost. There has to be a price that we pay to get rid of him. Well, then that's something that you're doing something, and that still leaves you room to do your sequels, and you could still have the baby dinosaurs or whatever, but just tangle him in the suspension cables, launch a few missiles at him.
Yeah. And then you can make your Godzilla 2 sort of like Gremlins 2, and like all the little Godzillas have different personalities.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
And then
one of them
has,
sounds like Tony Randall.
I was just gonna say, and he's just like, that was unexpected, or something.
You know what? I was just reading about. So there was a 6-year gap between Gremlins and Gremlins 2,
Yeah.
and the second one was a flop.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I remember it coming out, but yeah, I was too young to really track that stuff.
I just assumed it did okay, and I looked at it. It was like a disaster.
I wonder why. Just
I think
time and place.
Too much time going by and too different from the original one,
Yeah.
right? I mean, when's the last time you saw Gremlins 2?
I've only seen it once, I think.
Really?
I'm not a Gremlins 2 guy.
You know what? Honestly, I would love for you to revisit that movie because I'm very curious what you'd think of it.
Yeah.
Because
You know what I think of it? I think of that Key and Peele sketch.
Yes, which is very apt.
Yes.
But I found it, charming.
I think, yes, when you know what it is, and it's like, we're going to just do something totally bonkers and make the sort of Looney Tunes thing I want to do, like Joe Dante, right? Then I think it's probably kind of fun and like a live action cartoon. But I think it was just so tonally different from the first. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I mean, clearly that was the movie that Joe Dante really wanted to make.
Yeah.
See, this right here, it's like, in Peter Jackson's King Kong when he dies and you slowly see his eye go out, And we're supposed to be like, oh, this poor Godzilla. It's like, well, we just spent the first, the previous hour and a half trying to get rid of him.
See, this reminds me of the biggest problem in Super 8 also, where they wanted to have it both ways with that creature. Because he's a killer, that creature. And then at the end, they want it to be sort of like, we've got to help him. It's like, like what?
And that's
and
another.
Then, and then everyone's looking at him with the Spielberg face, as it leaves, and you're like, what? I don't know. This is just weird.
And that's Kyle Chandler. He just needs to stay away from these giant monsters. It's causing trouble.
Actually, these movies really benefit from having him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm joking, but I think you're right. I mean, I think what helped, and I would apply that here too. I mean, the actors play it straight. Mm-hmm. And that it polishes whatever veneer of sophistication there is, not sophistication, but similitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
Ebert.
I feel like he specifically had it in for Roger Ebert.
Yes. It's so ridiculous.
The whole thumbs up, thumbs down thing. There's what I.
Yes. Yeah. Or you say like, "I need you," or something like that. By the way, this is just one little tidbit that I hadn't touched on. May as well throw it in now. But in their whole lead up where they were trying to preserve what Godzilla looked like to the public, apparently they leaked fake designs just to see if anyone would leak it, and Fruit of the Loom did. And so it wasn't the correct design, but it was a way for them to be like, you wily underwear company.
You don't get to make Godzilla underwear. I hope you're happy.
Yeah. Yeah, so they did. They lost the license.
Darn.
Yeah.
They watched the Godzilla underwear money train just sail away. Now the toy company basically got bankrupted because of Godzilla.
Really?
Yeah, I mean in essence, right? Because it was a relatively new company called Treadmasters.
Yeah, I never even heard of it.
They did the toys for Independence Day a couple of years before this, and they did they had the license for like Extreme Ghostbusters and like Battlestar Galactica in the 90s was nothing, so they probably got it for a couple dimes, right? Mm-hmm. But they went all in on Godzilla stuff, and I mean ultimately the company folded like 4 years after the movie came out.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But here's the thing: the toys are actually pretty good from what I've seen. Mm-hmm. Like if that's the type of thing that you like, and now. Specifically, the toys based on Godzilla 98 are hugely valuable and very sought after. So very, very expensive now on the secondary market.
Well, that kind of makes sense, right? I mean, if there's a overabundance of them and no one got them, and then they become rare.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, Brian, here's a list of maybe they weren't as judicious about the licenses they picked up. So we got Independence Day, Mars Attacks. Lost in Space, the 1998 movie.
Oh man.
Let's see, Forbidden Planet. So they went they went into the 1950s movie for that, and then Battlefield Earth. So if Godzilla didn't kill him, Battlefield Earth was a headshot.
Wow, what a tragedy.
What you mean? You don't want the 12-inch figure of John Travolta as Turl?
Oh man.
And here we go, sequel setup. I think people were actively pissed off by the time the sequel setup showed up.
Oh, yeah, we're done. We're done.
Yeah.
And we already know what's going to happen. By the way, that reminds me of Mr. Burns when he's talking about the hubris of his softball team. And he's like, 1 misfortune, possibly. 2 misfortunes, it could happen. But 9 misfortunes, that toy company. Sure, 1 misfortune.
Poor Trendmasters. Dude, I want a cigarette right now.
We did it. We did it. Actually, when I clicked on the display and it was only an hour in, I was like, uh-oh.
I am so happy that we got to have this conversation because you want to know something? I had an absolute blast talking through this movie with you.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, these are always fun, even if we don't like the movie so much.
So as we kind of wrap up, thoughts on this film, it's worth pointing out, and maybe, certainly what you got out of our conversation was not us just shitting all over it. In fact, I'm willing to wager we were kinder to this movie than we've been to either of the Star Wars prequels. So,
I think so.
So figure that one out.
I think it's what they're aiming for.
Yeah.
And now, as I'm willing to take a couple steps backwards and look at it and acknowledge its flaws, but go, oh, actually, they did that pretty good. I could see Actually, maybe not. But I was gonna say I could see on cable, like stopping on it and going, okay, and then like watching like 30 minutes of it.
Yeah,
Possibly. Yeah, it's
But here's the point, right? Godzilla's an icon, and like any pop culture icon, a lot of your perception of it is when you happen to find your on ramp. Right, especially when they run longitudinally like this. And it's worth recognizing this movie is 21 years old. There's a lot of folks who this was their first Godzilla, and you know what? They will look at this the way I look at Superman 3 or something.
Sure.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
I read a lovely thing on Birth Movies Death this past week by the author. She spoke of that. She spoke of being 9 or 10 or whatever, and just that was how she fell in love with Godzilla. And then she got into Godzilla in other ways and realized, oh, this movie is an aberration. But you just don't know. Mm-hmm. You just don't know what's going to be that thing. And the last thing I would ever do is mock somebody for liking a thing that I think is bad.
Right.
That means I think the thing can still be bad.
Yeah. It's funny. By the way, I'm looking at these credits. I know all these people. This is insane.
Wow.
The production accountant, Tink, I worked with her. I knew the ADs. I worked with them on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The Winther brothers. This is insane. I can't believe this.
That's really funny.
I'm sort of having a moment here. I didn't notice this the other day.
Well, and I just saw Len Wiseman's name, and the director, Len Wiseman.
Yeah.
He started as a property assistant on Godzilla.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, no, all I was going to say was I was hanging out with a group of people this weekend, and a friend of mine's dad, he's like a Hollywood history expert, so he's taking us on a tour all over town. And I was talking about, pitching and things like that, and I was like, sometimes you want to aim to do something like this generation's Goonies, or I said something like that, and he goes, it's funny, I hear that so much. When people are pitching, they always bring up the Goonies. And he's like, I think the Goonies is terrible. He's like, he's what, 20-some-5 years older than me or something like that. And he's like, but for you guys, that was your first adventure film.
Yeah.
And like for me, he's like, I was X years old and it meant nothing to me. And I just saw a bunch of kids screaming. And so it made me think, I'm like, yeah, but I realize that, but it's the Goonies. And it makes me think like, oh, well, whatever I'm dismissing right now is going to become some other kid's Goonies. Yeah. So, I can appreciate that.
Well, there we go. I mean, I think that's a good place to wrap up this conversation.
Sure.
Lord knows we put in our time. No, I did. I had a lot of fun diving into some of the history of this film and contrasting it with my own memories of watching and experiencing this. And this, like it or dislike it, it really is a seminal moment when we talk about late 90s cinema in terms of what it represents. The film itself is certainly not beloved, but it is memorable for what led into it and what led out of it.
Yep.
And I think that's worth acknowledging. The Godzilla franchise continues to plug along. Again, this movie came out and it killed the franchise hopes stone dead for TriStar. And the following year, Toho, remember, they killed off Godzilla in 95 and they were going to come back 10 years later. In 99, they're like, no, you know what? We got to fix this. So they did a movie called Godzilla Millennium, Godzilla 2000, which is the beginning of the Millennium series, which lasted until 2004. And, all of those films are interesting. You had the opportunity to watch Shin Godzilla, and I believe you ended up liking that movie, correct?
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So, I think there's a whole cinematic language unique to the Japanese perception of this character that makes it special and distinct. And, maybe that's something that is exclusive to Japan. In terms of popular acceptance. I think this film was expected to rake in. They were fully expecting this one to be the thing that broke 100 million for its opening weekend. And notwithstanding any critique of the film, I think maybe just American audiences aren't that into giant monster movies.
Yeah, like it's more fragmented than I think. It's not a 4-quadrant thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like, there are the people that like it, but it's never going to be like a superhero film where it's just you can kind of get everybody on board.
I think you're right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's I suppose that's just an ongoing. That's going to be an ongoing conversation. With certainly Legendary and Warner Brothers are going to have to figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But that wraps up this conversation.
We did it. I do actually feel like we just went through something.
Yeah, you know what? I'm happy. It took a little bit of scheduling finessing, but I'm glad we were able to make it happen. And this coming month, again, we got some fun tracks coming because I'm really looking forward to watching Speed with you.
Yeah, me too. I love that movie.
And of course, Batman '89 is coming up, so that's those are some big ones.
Yeah.
With that in mind, as I wrap things up, I want to say, as I always do with these commentary tracks, tell us what you think. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you'd like us to talk through, because we are entirely open. This one I had gotten one or two requests for, and it was an ask. And I'm glad Brian was game for it. But we're up for just about anything generally.
Yeah.
So let us know. You can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com, or you can message us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. Also hit like on our no, I already said that. That's the Facebook page. Hit like on it. That's good. Hit like before you message us, and then go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Let people know what you think.
I concur.
All right. Well, that wraps up this movie film commentary track. My name is Zaki Hassan. On behalf of my partner Brian Hall, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.